it's such a jokey kind of how can I say it? It's such a jokey kind of way of fixing things. Like turn it off and on again, but it's like, oh no, that's actually right.
Yeah. Well, I did check it. I just had to like turn on like FaceTime on my laptop, and my camera did work. I guess it just like decided to just not work as soon as I turned it on.
That happens all the time. It's like when I'm streaming and stuff, where you'll be like, okay, everything's set, good, press start, and just
everything's crashed.
Everything just gets fucked up, and it's always annoying because I always come up at, let's say I start at 10. I always come up at 1:30, get everything set up, and then at 10 I press go live.
Yeah.
But at that moment, that's when I find out if everything's working or not. So it's like, shit. So I've seen like so many people.
At least it's fixable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was gonna say like at least about five people, 10 people I know this week have been trying to get live.
Yeah.
And then just everything crashes. It's just sometimes just how it works. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. But thanks for coming on again. Appreciate it.
No problem.
To be fair, it was just called a chat as well, because obviously we want to talk about our D&D stuff, your characters.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't. Here's the thing. I can't say like my background and stuff, not because I want to keep it secret, because I will do, but I still don't know. It's such a problem because like I keep wanting to do one thing and have this background and that background, and like which one makes more sense? And every time I'm looking at D&D Beyond or just looking through the player handbook, there's always something new or always something where I'm like, that sounds fun. I want to. Or I can play around with that one instead of all the basic ones. But I know you wanted to show sketches. Did you say?
I did do. I only did one, but I was messing around with just like a few other like sketch ideas in terms of like designing characters and that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like the opposite end of the scale with you with my character, because it was like I know who my characters, I know like their background, but I was like, okay, so what are they?
So
are they like a ranger? Like what was their class and that kind of stuff?
See, this is the thing. I think this is why we're slightly different, because I will go, this is how my guy looks, and this is, and then you go, this is what my person's all about. We're completely opposite.
Yeah.
Like I like the look of things, but I have no backstory yet. Where you have an amazing backstory.
I have the personality sorted first.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks before personality, eh? Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Says a lot.
I know. I'm so excited about it, and
same man.
Well, it's not official or anything like that right now, but if me and Soph can work this out, we're gonna maybe like try and do like a monthly one-shot campaign or something.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be a good team, kind of thing. So
I really think so as well.
And that's why I want to do it. Hang on, Finn's trying to get my bloody tutor. He's after it all the time, the bastard. But so hopefully, if anyone's watching who is a DM, a dungeon master, and you do have a one-shot campaign, reach out to me or Soph, because we want to do stuff.
So we do have one from like one friend, but it would be interesting to see if we could like try multiple like ideas.
That's what I mean. Like I feel like it could be just called The Adventures of Dave and Soph, or whatever you want, or Turquoise Whiskey. I don't fucking know. But
the late squad.
The late squad. Oh no! Always late to the adventures. So when we go to an adventure and everyone's dead, we'll just go, haha! Ah, shit.
Yeah.
No,
right. What did I miss?
I'm really enjoying it though. Like, I've been listening to Critical Role for almost non-stop. I haven't listened to a single other podcast apart from Critical Role, and I feel bad because like I sort of I've missed my other ones. But I just don't want to. I want to catch up, and there's like 50.
Yeah.
Wait, how many episodes are there? Currently on episode 17. Just started episode 17, so I've got a long way, and each of them are like 3 hours, 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So it's a hard commit, but I'm gonna get there eventually.
Yeah. I have that with the Adventure Zone. I haven't listened to Critical Role yet because I'm still trying to get through the majority of the Adventure Zone. Because I was like started from like 2014 and then onwards.
Damn. Yeah. A lot of people reached out and said check out this one and this one and this one, but Critical Role just because I think it's just because they took my D&D virginity in a sense.
Oh god.
In a weird way, like I've never listened or anything like that. The only experience I've had with D&D is Stranger Things. That's it. And apparently that's what boosted it all. Like as soon as Stranger Things came out, D&D just went like super duper high. So to be able to get into it now is kind of nice. I'm 28 and I'm finally embracing my geek side.
Yeah. Well, I've always been like surrounded by it because like even though I like mainly categorize myself as an artist, the friend groups I'm in and like just the friend groups that my brother is in, that kind of stuff, always seem to be the kind of people who either play video games or do D&D. So I've just never been able to avoid it at all.
Have you ever? Did you say you've played before? I can't remember if you did.
I haven't played before, but my brother has, and so basically when I was reading the documents that we were given in order to learn some D&D, I basically asked him what are the areas I have to learn, because it was like 180 pages long, and I was just like, I need to get through this as quick as possible. And he said, you probably need to look at race and character first, and then look at like, you know, dice rolls and how to sort out your ability scores and that kind of stuff.
I've literally only just figured it out myself, and we you and AJ were talking about we were talking for a couple of hours, weren't we? I can't remember if we were.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 hours that we were talking.
And I was still in my head going, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But I've clicked. I've pretty much got the idea of it all now. There's certain bits where I'm still kind of like, what does that bit mean and all that. Yeah. But I'm so looking forward to just figuring it out and being on the fly. Because let's be fair, we have the easy job.
Yeah.
We have the easy job to react to whatever's happening, whereas the DM.
They've got to build the world,
and it's the thing. It's the amount of branching paths there will be. So, whoever creates it, obviously we've got our own one. What we're going to be focusing on, a big campaign.
Yeah.
But just the idea of like, okay, we start here, we go here, but that can expand this many ways, and then that one can expand this many ways, and that one can. It's like Jesus, because I can just imagine. This is where I think you'd be okay at it. But I wouldn't, because I want everyone to follow a certain path because I'm lazy, so I want to create another one. So I'm sort of going, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to go this way? And I'm just sort of like, please go this way, because there's a dead end on this side, and that's it.
And then it's just me just like, let's go back.
Oh my God, yeah.
I think I missed something.
Yeah, and then I'm like, shit, I didn't put anything there.
Yeah.
But like, I totally respect the people who do the DM side, because holy shit, it's difficult, and I've not even looked at the rule book for Dungeon Masters.
No, I've not dared that. I'm just gonna like trust the Dungeon Master no matter what at this point.
Like I'm sure there's gonna be bits where all of us are gonna I don't know who's gonna be in our group. I know in the group we're different colours, like our names are different colours, and I think we're yellow. And there's a couple of other people in there who are yellow, and a couple of other people in there who are green. I'm like, okay, we actually got a little clans going on, which is pretty cool. But I think it might be best because we're in different time zones as well. So because you got to commit 3 hours really to a proper episode, and it's like, okay, when are we going to do this? But
exactly,
it'd be good. It's going to be good. And I don't know how much lore have you read into? Because I honestly don't know anything about it all.
I haven't read that much. I've only decided to just like make it easy for myself and only put as much research into what is relevant to me. So I only know stuff about, obviously because my character is a dwarf ranger, I've only looked into dwarves and their lore and like the lore of like rangers and what they can do. So I only know them, but I also kind of like the idea of that also represents my character. Because as you know, because you did the roles for me, my initiative, I'm not an intelligent character. So I think it would probably suit me in that moment of just being equally not so smart about Dungeons and Dragons, and also my character is not so smart about anyone else in the world except himself.
Oh, that's so true. So it's like you don't know what to do, but that's because you can also just say this is my character. You can't say you don't have to. You can pretend that you know what you're doing, but the character doesn't.
Yeah.
And you're just so into character.
Exactly.
You're so into it, and that's how it goes. But it's really interesting for people who haven't seen Soph's design of their character. It's so cool. Like, and I don't want to. I don't know if you've. You know the name what I know your character as. Has that been? Have you done that? Have you publicly said that, or are we keeping that to ourselves?
No, I've not my backstory is not out. The only thing people have seen so far is just the design and the name, and that's pretty much it.
What I mean is the name what I've given you. So you know the nickname.
No.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure. I want to make sure that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because I just thought to myself, like, when you're talking about it and you're setting up characters.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much. Like
Same really.
Because you don't want to give it away. And also, I posted in the Discord, but when people make characters and they have a backstory, sometimes they focus so heavily on the backstory that they don't allow flexibility. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good point, because molding the story and going with the flow and changing a few things while you're in the campaign or when you're in conversation, that seems fun. You know, maybe that's
and in doing it, and in doing it, I did kind of realize why, because before I did D&D, I did wonder why like loads of people who started characters usually had characters like tragic backstories, to the point where it's like it's so tragic they want to forget that ever happened, and that's just like something that's not relevant to them present.
Freeze! You sound like Daft Punk.
Oh, do I?
Yeah. It's just connections. Don't worry.
Yeah. Is it working now?
That is working now. Yeah.
Okay. Should I just repeat what I said?
Yeah, please, because you turned into Robot Soph, and it was quite funny to watch, because it was like, like you slowly went more out of sync as time went by, but then it just went, and it was scary.
Yeah, I've got my headphones on, and only one of my ears is free. So, and what I can hear in my ear is my laptop fizzing like hell.
Oh, I can't hear that at all.
So it's overheating basically. I've propped it up on a book so that it wouldn't overheat at the back so much, because when it overheats, the internet connection goes out.
Yeah. That's totally fine. But yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
I say like about. Is that one again? Okay.
You good?
Okay. It was about designing D&D characters. I can understand why people, when they start a character, they usually have like a tragic backstory.
Yeah.
That's like so tragic that they want to move on from their character's past and like make them a new person. And like I didn't understand it at first because it was quite cringy at first, honestly. But now that I'm into D&D, I can understand why, because people just like they make a character, and then when they discuss with the dungeon master's like, okay, that's them now. This is them here. Like they're going to be going through a lot more shit than they've ever been through, regardless of your background.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because the tragic backstory is the go-to backstory, because it just seems like you want to ground your character. But sometimes, like this is something I wanted to talk to you about as well. If we do organise the co-op campaign, let's just say, I want it to be where we go on to D&D Beyond or something, and we just go randomize, and then we just that's what I want to do. Like, and then we have to come up with something on the spot. That sounds like that for me. That would be really fun, but it would force us to like have to get into spells and stuff. But we could do it where like once a month we do a recording like this, and in that moment we find out what our character's going to be. So we both go on to D&D Beyond, we click randomize, we record it, and then go, all right, we have a week to put it all together, and then we contact the DM and stuff like that. That'd be so fun. Oh shit, that sounds fun actually. Well, I mean, I'm doing all this kind of thing. I've never played D&D. Imagine if when we play it, we hate it.
Oh god.
We do all this setup,
all that build up.
all this build up, all this character development, all your amazing designs, and we're like, you know what? Nah,
this wasn't really.
I like games. I like playing games instead. Yeah. Oh god.
I did have that like some advice from my brother, is that he did say expect it to be a lot slower than you imagine, in terms of like how like you develop.
Yeah.
Like in places, because things happen very slowly, because eventually you have to do things individually with each character.
It's kind of cool with Critical Role, because they do bits where obviously everyone's in the room, but when it's a DM and one character, everyone has to leave, and then it's like it's really interesting in that moment, because Matthew Mercer, I believe his name is. Yeah, he's fucking wonderful at like obviously just talking, but the way he builds each character and builds the story, I'm just sat there going, oh god, I'm so into it. And I was just thinking to myself, like, how would we be able to do that? And I figured it out. Like, you'd have to make sure everyone's muted, apart from, or let's say or let's say I'm recording it, and it's you who has to talk to the dungeon master, and not me. I'd have to like basically mute what I can hear, but it can still be picked up. You know? And challenges then. I have to make sure I don't listen to it when I'm editing it. But it's fine. I got ways of doing it. But it's gonna be a fun experience. I think it's gonna all happen. Well, you know what I was about to say? I think it's gonna happen next year. But I was gonna say that like it's really far away. But it's not. It's a few weeks. It's a few days. It's
my God, 2020.
Oh, God damn it!
Jesus Christ!
I don't know how this year just went by so fast.
It didn't go fast for me. It just went like it just went shocking in like gaps of speed.
Oh, I see.
It's just like constant times of nothing, and then just like something happened. Just like what I'm here.
Yeah. You totally
I didn't realize how much time passed.
I think. Well, they say that. Oh no, it wasn't. They say it's like a logical way of saying that time speeds up when you're getting older. And it's because your comprehension of time is different now. So let's say when you're a kid and you're 5 years old, a year goes by, but that's 1/5 of your life. Now I'm almost 30, so that's 1/30 of your life. So it's gonna seem quicker because you have more time to compare it to. And I can't remember who said that. I can't remember, but I remember just sitting there going,
I think I've seen that written down somewhere.
Yeah, it must have been a podcast for me, but I remember just sitting there going, oh shit, that's totally right. It's a weird one. And then once you do that, you go, oh, it's weird. I love it. I love that kind of stuff. I love those like, moments.
And it's slightly mathematical as well, which I find boggling, because as somebody who's like always done art the majority of her life and kind of like turned away a little bit from maths and science just because it boggled me so much, to see that maths can prove logics of being human just makes me go, what?
That's the horrible part though, isn't it? Like you can formulate everything into a mathematical equation, and it's and I've been watching
that sickens me.
It's kind of like inhuman, isn't it, that people have worked not everything out, but just the idea that you can equate things to a simple formula. Even what was it, you know when someone says like, what are the chances of this happening? But it's like in terms of chatting. So you bump into someone you know in the streets. It's like, oh, I met this person earlier. What a chance that had happened. And then someone could go, well, no, you can actually work that out. And and they break it down into this. Oh yeah, the probabilities, and like, don't take the magic in life away.
It was fate. No, it was mathematically predicted.
Oh my God, it's crazy. And then we go into the simulation theory as well. Have you heard?
Oh God.
Like, what do you know about simulation theory? I don't know too much, but I wonder if you do, or is that something you avoid?
It's something I avoided. Like my brother's tried to explain it to me, and he's explained it to me after many pints. So. On both ends, so neither of us can fully remember or want to comprehend what was said about it.
Just the idea of that, because it's just weird and scary, and like if it was true, I think I don't know if I'd hate it. I think I would, but I don't believe it personally, and I'm sure most people.
No.
I think flat earthers and simulation theorists are kind of on the same path.
Sort of, yeah. But like, it's the point where it's like, it's also one of those theories where it's just like, well, it's not technically hurting anyone.
No.
It's just something that's not seen. And it's the case where it's like, you can't necessarily be scared of it, because if it is true, then it's always been true. So it's always been this way. The only difference now is that we know it. So not much has actually changed.
But do you think that if the moment we prove it exists, that's the moment when we start fucking with it?
Yes, most probably.
Because let's be fair, humans, even though we've done amazing things and built amazing things, we decimate things. We fucking love it.
As soon as we see something that's valuable, we think, what can we do to ruin it? What can we do to ruin it?
We're like, oh, this is a very pretty animal. It's taken out.
I'd like it on my wall.
the human power to completely destroy things in this world is nuts, and that's something I've always loved the idea of. Like, even though it's kind of a weird thing to think of, but the idea that if humans weren't here, the world would be totally fucking fine, if not better.
Yeah, I always have that thing with my brother, because like my brother's a very, I don't know, he's like that nihilist version that's like nihilist but not depressed kind of thing. So like he's just very simple with what he says. So every time I come to him, I'm just like feeling down about like, you know, pollution, all that kind of stuff, the world being destroyed. And my brother's just like, and I'm just like, well, this could be the end of humanity. And my brother's just like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, fine, let another species, you know, become dominant. This is just another extinction period coming up. And I'm just like, the fact he can live his entire life with that thought and still be quite happy is such a freeing thing to know.
It's, you know what, I feel like I'm kind of in the same idea of that, where it's a case of this is what's happening. That's it. Like, if I have no power to change it, I'm not going to worry about it. Because you're adding on stress into your life what's not really in your control. And like we do our bit to help the environment and stuff like that, but if we know an asteroid's going to hit us, it's like it's going to be terrifying. But after a certain amount of time, you start to go, well, that's it. That's it. We can't do anything else about it. And obviously we're going to try. We do our bit to like. Apparently they have rockets for like anti-asteroid rockets and shit. Like in the development or even there already. But just the idea that you know, when we discover something,
the thing I have with the asteroid like theory is that technically we have had many threats from meteors and asteroid in the past, but the thing that saved us was the moon, because the moon has its own gravitational pull, and the moon just happens to have been at the right place at the right time to just turn the meteorites away from the Earth instead of shooting back into space.
Shit, I forgot.
So it's just we just gotta wait. We just gotta wait for the one time when the asteroid is coming towards us and the moon's on the other side of the planet. That is the scary bit.
The frightening bit is we don't see it coming. Like, because the majority of the time you see it coming, and it's like you'll always see it on Twitter that meteorite is going to be the closest to Earth it's ever been for blah 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 blah. But just imagine if it was like, oh, there it is, and that's it, done. You thought,
just goes past.
Yeah, so oh look, but apparently like there's been loads of them what misses, but then loads of us what hit us. But because the atmosphere will break it all down, it's okay, because a lot of times it's made out of ice, I believe. I believe the majority.
Yes, it's either ice or rock. The rock is extremely small, but all of this buildup of any water moisture that's found in space just builds up around it and makes it bigger. So obviously, when it enters the superheat of the atmosphere, it just melts and just is very tiny.
I'm trying to think, because have you watched that episode of The Simpsons where it's the end of the world and there's a meteorite about to hit, and the exact same thing happens, and it turns into like a little hacky sack sized thing where Bart's
and
like,
Bart put it in his pocket.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my favourite episodes of The Simpsons. Simpsons was so damn good. But what was I going to say?
I haven't watched that in a while.
I haven't. I only watched the old school ones. Like, same. You know what I didn't do, and I always do it, and I didn't do it this year for Halloween. I didn't watch any of the Halloween
Haunted
special.
House ones.
Yeah, I didn't. I usually do. I usually watch specifically the one where Mr. Burns is a vampire, but he's not the lead vampire.
Oh yeah.
The one where I only because I had nightmares of it, where the school eats the children, the teachers eat the children.
God,
that's one of my favourite episodes ever. And then you got The Shining as well. The Shining's a very good one.
That's good.
Purely because I love The Shining. But I specifically remember being in the scene in The Simpsons where I don't think I was taking a role of Milhouse, but I specifically remember being in the corridor, running back, and that bladed thing, the blender. I remember. I remember falling in it in my dream, like, and it fucked me up for like ages.
God,
I proper freaked out from it. Like, oh, I like that kind of stuff. Just the idea, and I remember waking up from it, and I was like, "Fuck, it's scary."
Wasn't that also? That was like, because they usually do like 3 stories per episode in the Halloween ones. Wasn't that the one where, like, in every episode, Willie turns up and he just keeps getting killed? Like, groundskeeper Willie?
Oh, maybe. Like, well, in the that's the Shining one.
Yeah, the shiny one, and then I can remember in that one where like the teachers are eating the kids, he turns up and then gets stabbed again. He's just like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
I think that is that episode where Willie just keeps dying.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Maybe that's the best one then. But yeah, oh god, yeah, he kept getting stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so funny. Oh,
yeah.
Groundskeeper Willie. What, you know who's the best Simpsons character?
Oh god, I actually don't know. There's a lot of them.
Here's my favourite. Hans Moleman. Moleman.
Oh god, yeah.
The raisin-headed old boy. He's my absolute favourite. Like, because he's just so tragic, and there was just all the skits for him where either when he was very bad at driving, he'd crash his car, he'd be failing his driving test, or he'd get a football in the groin.
Oh yeah.
Have you got a favourite character?
I don't think either like just like the three the police officers, like, so there's it's Chief
Wiggum.
Yeah, no, like the three of them together are actually quite good as like a trio.
Oh, what? You know what? I can't actually remember, because you got basically you got Police Chief Wiggum, the black cop and the white cop. That's what you got.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
just the only police force of Springfield.
Oh yeah, those three. They are funny. Police Chief Wiggum is hilarious because he's the epitome of an American cop, if you would. You know, overweight, can't do shit, eats donuts, and that's something I miss about The Simpsons. Is back in the day, it was a parody of other stereotypes. It was a cartoon about stereotyping certain things. So you have the rich person who's greedy and evil in a sense, and then you got is it hillbillies? Rednecks is the derogatory.
Oh yeah, like Cletus.
Cletus, yes.
Yeah.
But, and then you obviously got Apu Nahasa Pina Petalon. Oh, I can't remember how to say it, but it was the epitome of making fun of certain stereotypes and then celebrities. Actually, celebrity culture would make fun of celebrity culture, but then it started becoming a program about celebrity culture, where it was every week there was like, oh, this celebrity's on here, and when I think the last episode I actually watched of The Simpsons, at least, was what was it, their 300th episode, and I don't know if it was that one, but it was the one where Tony Hawk was the celebrity. What was in it?
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's not good.
No.
It's not a good episode. Like, I think season 1 to 6, I believe, were the best.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, oh, we're still dragging this out way too long now. It's kind of it's kind of nuts. But back onto disasters and the Earth dying.
Now we get to the real stuff.
Let's get through. I was going to say, I read on maybe Twitter or something that they discovered a meteorite that has like a bunch of gold and diamond, maybe, or stuff like that. And all I can think of is in my head is humans would be dumb enough and greedy enough to go, let's go get it.
Oh my god!
You know, and
the ultimate Minecraft experience.
Minecraft in space would actually be really cool. Like,
I'm sure you can. I'm sure there is like a thing you can have in Minecraft where you can go to the moon.
Really?
Yeah, I think because I used to watch Drunk Minecraft with like Markiplier and Wade and Bob ages back. That's a fantastic series you should check out, because it's just old school Markiplier and that stuff, and then doing even more goofy shit than you'd imagine.
I didn't know they did Minecraft. You know what? I actually, when the Minecraft hype was at its peak, I know he specifically did Roblox because of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise he did a Minecraft bit, actually. I'm going to check that out. I'm actually going to check that out.
Yeah. Well, he stopped it quite a while back. And the reason he stopped it is because, obviously, it's discovered he can't drink alcohol anymore. So, and he used to get very drunk on those episodes.
What, he can't drink alcohol?
No, he can't drink alcohol.
As in physically or for videos?
Well, he's allergic to it, I think.
Really?
And I don't know whether it is alcohol related, but I think there was an incident a few years ago where he did have like a small heart attack.
I didn't know
after
that.
drinking alcohol.
Jesus.
Yeah, so he can't drink alcohol anymore.
Whoa. I didn't know about that. Damn. That's scary. That's scary that Sphinx can just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Like people, and I have so much empathy for people who have allergies and stuff, because there's a chef who I used to work kind of under, and he had an allergy to peanuts.
Oh.
To the point where if it's just in the vicinity, he'll start getting like symptoms of it.
Oh yeah.
And in my head, I just can't imagine a life where I will just be walking around and something's just there to kill me. The idea that your body can just do that. I know Ethan Crank Gameplays is allergic to peanuts, if I remember rightly, and it's insane. Like, I'm so lucky.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky because we could be so much worse off.
Yeah.
So
I have two experiences of that in like my family.
Go on.
Where it's like I've got my mum who's slightly allergic to wheat, but not really. Mm-hmm. It's not as bad as like my stepmom's mum, who like can't be in the vicinity of like flour because
flour.
It's like she gets extremely ill because flour is like grounded wheat, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So whenever we go eating, she always has to carry like wheat-free stuff with her and hand it to the chef to say, "Can you please cook that in it instead?"
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just look at you. Go. It's all microwave, love.
It's
all microwave. Sorry.
Just get it from a packet.
Yeah. I'll add it
this
to
is the most
packet.
gourmet thing you've shown us today.
It's the freshest thing you've ever given us. Jesus Christ. Here's the thing as well when it comes to restaurants and stuff, because I used to be like in the industry, like I used to work in a restaurant and run one and be a chef and all that. I have like I'm judgmental, as in like I want to make sure they're doing it right, but I always make sure I tip because I know how fucking hard it is. And there's some people who me and Emily personally know who refuse a tip, and they're like, "Well, we get paid in the US." I'm like, no. They survive off the tips. The tips are what actually helps them, and sometimes though they don't deserve it because some of them are just tragic and just bad. But I always lean towards giving it them as much as possible. They have to do some fucked up shit to make so I don't tip them, but like. They always say as well, like, you can always judge a person's personality by how they treat a waiter or waitress. Yeah. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, that's really true. Because if you're on a date...
exactly. It's the majority of dates you go out for a meal. That's the best way to see someone's proper personality.
Well, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, actually. Me and Em, our first date, we went to Chiquitos, and...
Okay.
So here's how I impressed Emily. Ready? At Chiquitos, I didn't have any money, so Emily had to pay.
What a gentleman.
Yeah. Because I don't know why. Why did I not? I can't remember. I think I was just fucked basically.
You're stressing. Yeah.
And I remember just talking to like, oh no, I don't think she paid. I think she paid more than me. I think that was the case. Right. Like, we went Dutch, but she went more Dutch. And
right, okay.
So a few years down the line, we're getting married now, so it all works. Yeah. All works out.
I mean, that's certainly a good way to introduce yourself. Show yourself in the most desperate situation on the first day.
This is me. Accept me for who I am. And but yeah, Chiquitos was really nice, and the waiter there was super cool. So I remember tipping them. I do remember tipping them, so I was like, I'm gonna be the big man and tip you like whatever it is. But yeah, that's one of my most embarrassing memories with Em, is that on the very first date she had to pay more than me because I was so poor, and god damn, I don't know. I made up for it now. I've bought plenty of things. I cook all the time, and I've made it up to her, I believe. I don't know. It's an interesting.
You'll find out. Eventually.
If it comes up in like the vows and also that kind of stuff.
I've just got an absolutely awful laptop for anything like this.
Well, remember we didn't even realise that you could go on camera properly until we talked about
at the stream call.
Yeah, at the stream call, and it's like and I was like, oh, we can do that because when we're I always say it, but when I'm talking to just a blank image or no image, it's kind of like I don't know, it just always feels a bit more not as connected, you know. And
I usually have the same,
but it's all good. Speaking of which, Joe, so I want to see sketches.
Oh yeah,
if that's cool.
That. Yeah. I could, since you might be uploading this, knowing my internet, I could just burn your computer alive.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. If people do end up watching this video, I could just show people the like materials I use, because the most commonly asked question I get, and unfortunately it is the one that annoys me the most, is what do you use to colour? What do you use to draw?
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
You need an autoresponder for that question, don't you?
Yeah. It might be easier if I just turn the light on because it's very dark. I just realised.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry.
I'll just give me a second.
It was quite funny because we contrasted so much. I was super bright, and you're like darkness.
Yeah, I'm just the only natural lighting I have is like that and my windows, and it's currently raining right now.
Oh yeah, it's miserable here too. So don't worry. I have way too many lights in this room right now, but I only use the Elgato one now, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're gonna show the materials and stuff, and all
right. Yeah. Let's go.
I remember reading Sean saying like, I still can't believe this is done traditionally, and I'm sort of going like that too, because I'm like, fuck, it looks so good, and but go on, show off.
Okay, well, I will admit, quite recently I have done a little bit of digital, but only as like an editor, as like an editing side, because previously I've always edited my videos because quite easily I just have like a Mac computer from Apple and an iPhone, so I have everything on the cloud, so I just swap photos over to like the normal editor and just like increase saturation, increase exposure, increase black line, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Just to make them a little bit more like sharper, because in reality my sketches are quite muddy because the colours fade after a while. So I have to increase saturation. So like probably first things first, that's the sketchbook I use.
W.H. Smith A5 sketchpad, very nice.
W.H. Smith. Yeah, loads of people ask what kind of paper I use. I honestly don't know. I have no idea what kind of paper it is. It's just paper. It's just card paper and that kind of stuff. It could be.
Just to relate, kind of, someone reached out to me last night and was asking about like, oh, what do you do with your mic? Because they jumped in my stream and they're like, it sounds like amazing and all this kind of stuff. It sounds really crisp. Yeah. And I just went, I don't know.
I don't know.
Just kind of lucky, I guess.
I've always that thing is like, also in art you also have to buy the right equipment, because like for 2 years in art student you have to buy like the right sort of paints with the right plaster and that kind of stuff. We've always had like tips of like using oil paint. We can't use like white spirit, we have to use terps, even though they're the same thing. We have to use terps because white spirit will decay your canvas and that kind of stuff.
What's terp? I don't you're talking
terps.
You're talking
terps is just terps is just like white spirit. It's just like an acid, and it's just meant to basically smooth down the canvas so that the oil doesn't peel after time, and it also doesn't burn through the canvas.
Oh.
But we have to use terps because it's basically just like a thicker oil.
Okay, I get it.
And that kind of stuff. So we've always been specific about that, and I've always been the kind of person where it's just like people ask, "Oh, what stuff do you use?" I'm just like, whatever was cheapest in the art shop, that kind of stuff. So like when I do sketches, I obviously do pencil sketches first, so I just use the typical pencils.
The good old reliable.
Yeah, good old reliable Staples W.H. Smith.
Oh hell yeah.
Pencils. And then I get a bit more specific with line art. I use Tombow pens, which is stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure. There we go.
It's like you're a makeup artist.
Yeah, I'm a makeup artist. So this is my eyeliner.
It's my eyeliner. It's totally rad.
It's permanent on my face.
I've never watched a single makeup artist video, so
I have not either, as you can probably tell.
Oh bless you! Come on, say.
Yeah. So I use 2 pens. This one has like a thinner nib. I'm not entirely sure if I can show that off.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's quite small. So I use that for like extremely fine detail, and then there's one which is a darker green, which is just a thicker nib and that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of thing where like the more harder you push down, the thicker the line is, and that kind of stuff. And then when I want to do shading in normal grayscale, I just use these kind of pens, and if I want to do black, I use that. All of these are Tombow pens.
Tombow.
And
I'm just picturing it's like Mary Poppins' bag right now, full of this.
Do you want to see the bag? This is the bag.
Oh, fucking hell!
That's the. I've only recently found a net bag because this is now it can't close and the zip had broken.
Wow.
So that's my bag of pens that I take wherever I go.
It's like you're a drug dealer.
What you buying? And then I just use that kind of stuff. And they're just like pro markers, like alcoholic markers.
Damn. How much?
And that kind of stuff. And they're usually two-ended. There's that one which is like a thin nib, and then there's that one which is a bit like a calligraphy pen, so like it's flat.
Yes. Yeah.
So I use that one for like if I'm doing backgrounds and that kind of stuff. Right. So sketches themselves, I have about 15 books to choose from.
Oh, it's nuts. I absolutely love your Instagram story thing. What you do, where it's like, hey guys, choose between these letters and these numbers, and you like show stuff. It's like, oh.
Yeah. That's just that one I do when I realise like I've got nothing to do. I may as well look back on some of the sketches I've done, see how far I've progressed.
But it's awesome, like, because people, as weird as it sounds, but like a lot of times you'll be posting the same image, but because it's been a while since we saw it, I completely forget about it. I'm like, oh shit, that one's really cool, and it's always a nice surprise, to be fair.
Yeah, and then it's also the effects that I'm taking it live on the book. Most of my stuff I like do really close up, so you can't see that it's on paper. So that's why most people like don't believe that I do stuff traditionally, because they can't see that it's actually on a page.
People actually wait, as in they say you don't believe in it in a good way. Like,
well, they don't. Well, they just say like it's so detailed they don't think it's like traditional. They think it's a digital piece of work.
Are they saying like a bad way though, or?
No. Like some of them, they genuinely ask just like what like function brush do you use to get that texture?
Oh.
And that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, I use a pen.
I use a pen and paper.
Pen on paper. Right. So this is my most recent sketchbook, because I always have to line them with washi tape, because that's my only use for washing tape now.
Oh, so cute.
Okay, so obviously the first sketch I've ever put in that one was that one.
I love that. It's so cool. Yo.
This is that. Also, if you want, you can take up my Instagram and go through the sketches.
Yeah.
Because I could do like a compare and contrast.
Yeah, sure.
Because some of these sketches, a lot of people will find that there's a lot less in the sketches than what I've actually shown in the end.
Okay. I see. Yeah. This is something, by the way, you know, me thinking of doing D&D and stuff? And the reason why I contacted you first is purely because of your drawings, because I know how creative you are in that aspect, and I've read your background and certain people. I was like, Soph, be fucking spot on for this. So let's contact you to see if it's it'll work. But
well, I appreciate it. I mean, it's something that has always been in the back of my mind, but I never had the chance to do it.
Yeah. Same here, actually. Same kind of thing here. Is there any ones in that where you sort of go, I hope no one sees this one?
I do have odd things where like ideas that didn't exactly pan out so good. I do have the odd pencil sketches like that I don't complete.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's just like odd ideas that I've had in the past that I could go back to, so I just leave them there. Random stuff. So if you're on my Instagram and you do have that picture of Marvin during the pentagram.
Where are we? Where? How far do we need to go down?
Probably a little bit. It's just like he's in a black space and there's just a green pentagram on the floor. Should be quite recent.
I might scroll by it. God damn, these are so cool.
Thanks.
I need to keep looking through them all, and because I do have to remind myself like how goddamn good you are. Is it past the anti-punch in the keyboard, or is it before that?
It's past that. It's quite recent. It's in between.
Here we go.
Have you found it?
No. I'm saying like here we go, because we're trying to work it out.
Yeah.
Pentagram. Oh yeah, got it.
You found it?
He's casually drawing it, right?
Yeah, casually drawing it. Yeah. So if you look at the comparison of that one, and this is the sketch I did for it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
So that's what I mean about that. I've been editing a lot more digitally recently. So like for this, I just put it in like an editing software, cut him out, turn the background black, and then just draw in the little pentagram, because I've only done like the pencil sketch.
Whoa.
Of the circle underneath.
That's kind of like nuts. You almost can't tell. Well, I can't tell because I'm untrained, I guess. But you can't tell which bits actually in real life and which one's been digitally put in.
Yeah.
Wow,
I quite like doing that.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I've done other things. That was the one of Jackie Boy Man. I edited in like the little portal things down there, so I just left that a white space on the original.
I got it.
Okay.
What was the when did you meet? Was this before the Sneeple video? You know,
it was after it.
Yeah, because I was thinking
it must have been after.
That's what it reminds me of, at least.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I also do like the odd Penny sketches here and there.
I like your Penny character.
Thanks.
Penny's a really.
I've been doing a lot more. I've been doing a lot more with them in terms of like writing about them.
Yeah. It's awesome. Right. It's totally a "what are you buying" image.
Yeah.
You know.
And then I also have sketches quite recently where I've taken 2 individual sketches and put them together.
Okay.
So like, there's this one Chase sketch I did where he's seen like a past self of him.
Sure.
Because that was the past self sketch I did.
I'm literally about to bring out one up right now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it was that one I did. That was part 1, and that was part 2.
Oh. Was that?
So then I just put them both together.
Ah. This is really cool. I like this. I like you breaking down your images.
Yeah.
Damn. It's awesome.
I was thinking like. Yeah. So that was a quite recent JJ sketch.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
To be fair, I like all of
that. That one was quite hard to do because I had a while where like I was only doing backgrounds on like the editor.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot how to do backgrounds for a while. So then I just thought maybe I should start like redrawing a bit more detailed backgrounds and then edit them out. So I did that one.
I like that one. That's
like straight up.
That straight up looks like a scene from a D&D scenario. Like you're in a bar and like what's the difference? Is that just a straight up scan? Because it looks very.
No, it's literally just me taking a photograph of it.
Wow.
I literally just hover my phone directly over it and take a picture.
It's so cool because like obviously camera quality is something, but when it's not the best quality camera, it gives it that extra layer of I don't know what you want to call it, but it gives it a bit more kind of, you know, when you're talking about texture from the paper, kind of like that as well. When you're taking a picture, it gives a certain tinge. I don't know how to describe it, but it just makes it look cooler as well.
Although to a downside to that, there is also a disadvantage of me over editing stuff because like there's the one of I did of Marvin with the winged lion, like the griffin.
The beastie one.
The beastie one.
How have I not liked that one? The hell.
Oh well, thank you for
that.
There you go. Okay, well that's the original sketch, and when I look at the like digital one, I just think that a bit of the detail has been missed out.
Is it more blue? It looks more blue in the one that's on Instagram.
Yeah, well, usually I just put like filters over them a little bit. Because like with something that's like mainly yellowish colours on the Instagram, they usually have like a colour tint that you can have over it. So I always put the contrast tint on it.
Oh.
So the contrast to yellow is blue. So I always put like a blue tint over it.
Oh. Yo, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
People are like, the artists in here are sort of just fucking writing down notes like, what the hell is she... Oh, this is what she does. Okay, quick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, and then of course there's that one.
I adore. Wait, she? Female character?
Yeah, she's she.
She. Yeah.
Although just for nature, I sometimes call them they.
Yeah, it's all right. I tend to go for they now as well, but...
Yeah.
Oh, can you show me your sketch again, please?
Yep, we'll do.
So what have you done? Is that just a straight up picture?
Yeah, that was just straight up taken. Yeah, that's just taken, and then because usually some of the problems I have with taking a photograph is I draw very late in the day.
Okay.
So lighting is an issue because I only have like my desk lamp and my main lamp, and when I usually take a picture, it's oversaturated with yellow.
Of course,
because they're obviously you can see they're yellow lights. So I always have to edit them and then turn the exposure up so that it goes from yellow to white. But when I turn the exposure up, it gets rid of the black line on it and then gets rid of the saturation.
Yes.
So it's just a whole situation of me like constantly editing a lot of photos.
I get you. Wow.
Yeah.
I love when I saw the sketch. What you sent to me. It was during a stream, wasn't it? It was during a stream.
It was during a stream.
And I just remember looking at that sketch and I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be so cool. And then you pop the colours on, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So good, dude. Absolutely adore. I was about to say them as well. Her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. How long did it take you? I wanted to ask you this. I don't think I've ever asked you this, but how long does it usually take you?
It depends really. Because usually it depends on how distracted I am. Usually if I get home from like work or I get home from being somewhere, I usually like sit down and just focus on it. But then I also have the thing where it's like it ranges between like either an hour and a half or 5 hours. The 5 hour ones are quite risky because sometimes I miss lunches and dinners.
Ah, damn. Yeah.
Because I get so tied up in drawing it. It's just like I won't move until I've finished this now.
Well, you're in a flow state, aren't you? You're going for it. You don't want to break that kind of thing. Kind of like streaming or making videos or stuff. You start and it's kind of like a bit awkward, and then you just really get into it. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. How long did?
And that's always...
Go on, please.
Sorry. No, you go.
Okay, I was just gonna say, how long did Blundell Sands take you?
It took me. I think sketching her was about 15 minutes. Line art was about 20 to 30 minutes. Coloring usually takes the longest because with a lot of the stuff, it's kind of like mixed colors and muddy colors.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the reason I do for skin color is probably the hardest thing I have to get right. Because in terms of shading, it's quite hard to do. Because see if I can find it. I don't really, in order to do like shadings, I don't necessarily use greys.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff, because people would think like in order to make a shadow, you'd make it grey. When it comes to skin color, you shouldn't do that because it just doesn't make it look lively. So instead of using greys, I use purples. And then I use the skin colours over it. That usually evens it out and makes it just look a little bit more plumper and that kind of stuff.
Plumper. I think I've actually heard Pillagey talk about that when I was watching one of her streams. And I swear she was talking about shading and she said she was talking about purple. Why do I
usually like any kind of like skin colour, purple is usually like the go-to colour. That kind of stuff.
I love learning this stuff. I can never apply it personally, but I like it. I just like learning things. I feel like I just like seeing how things work. I'm not the type of person who breaks things apart and then puts it back together again because I'm not smart enough to put it back together again. But like, just figuring out the intricacies of certain things and certain methods, I find it fascinating. Always do. Yeah, keep them coming, Soph. Keep them coming. I really enjoy this.
That's fine. Some people might also be interested in what I do for like the emoji challenges because I did that quite recently.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of stuff. I usually do, because they're quite small, I do 4 per page. And that kind of stuff, and then box it off.
I'm going to bring it up in the...
and then there's the other page.
Which one's your favourite out of those ones right now? Which one are you happy with the most? The most happy with?
I'm quite happy with that one. Mainly because I haven't drawn Markiplier's characters in a very, very long while.
This is kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it is kind of refreshing. And also because, like, I've always had this thing where like there's different head shapes between like the Septic egos and Markiplier's egos.
Slightly round for Jacksepticeye, slightly long for Markiplier.
Yeah, for him it's always round head, rectangular body, and then for Mark it's usually rectangular body and it's a rectangular head and triangular body. And that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. It's so cool.
And then I'll do my last recent sketches.
Sure.
So there's that one.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was me adding the background. I did put that in the editor again just to blur the background.
I see. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then like add a bit more like dark saturation to it. And then obviously my most recent sketch is that one.
Yeah, Jackie Boy Man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Quite pleased with that one, mainly because of the urban settings.
I was about to say, with the mask, does that symbolize anything?
No, it was just like a random thing I said.
Okay.
I kind of based it lightly on this little thing I had about like my theory of Marvin and where he comes from.
True.
And that kind of stuff, because I had the theory that like he's part of the magic circle, which is actually a thing that exists for magicians.
The magicians.
And I always had this thing that the symbols on their masks indicates their type of magic.
I get
that kind of stuff. So if you have an eye on your mask, then it indicates you're into psychics and that kind of stuff.
See.
And then there's like one that's like a flame skull, which is dark magics, and then there's Marvin's character, which is just entertainment's magics.
So this is the thing. I saw this, and this is why I wanted to ask you about it, because I saw this piece, I saw the mask, and I remember just thinking to myself, well, Soph doesn't do anything by accident. There's always a meaning behind what you fucking do. So that's why I wanted to go. There's a mask there with a symbol. And the first thing I noticed, apart from Jackie Boy Man, was the symbol. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah, well, originally I was going to draw it as Marvin. But then I thought that's a little bit too niche.
Yeah. I get it.
Because I'm always of the thing where it's like, I'd kind of like them both to, all the egos to have had their own separate worlds. So like they're fighting they have their own enemies, they have their own friends. They're not necessarily, passing each other every day.
Yes.
Like I said.
Hey, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm alright, mate. Thanks.
Yeah, just like that kind of stuff.
Off to work.
So yeah, so I'm always about that kind of thing where it's like they've got their own individual worlds and they just happen to meet and that kind of stuff.
Or brought together, or whatever Sean's going to do next year. He says he's got some good stuff, like big things planned. And in my head I'm like, he's exploring the universe, and that's going to be cool.
I'm proud of him. Yeah, I'm proud of him for that.
Oh, yeah. Like, and how he's done it is really nice too. Because when it came to Chase, I really like that, just for how it was done. Because I straight up thought for a second that he was going to base his Egoverse around Chase's experience, and then like, so you're following Chase's adventure, if you would, and then every other character gets popped in, whereas he's doing it where it's like, no, everyone's got their own life and it's going to be brought together, and that's going to be really cool. And then you look at Robin's editing and it's like, fuck's sake, Robin, stop being so good.
And also the thing is, like, especially with like JJ's videos, because I didn't realize that they use quite a lot of like royalty-free stock music, and I always think like, oh, did they write this themselves? But then I watch like other YouTubers and I hear the exact same music piece in it, and then I just think, wow. I think like two, I feel like one, wow, this is like just usual stock music, and then I think two, Robin's really good at making this like extremely atmospheric for the video that it's used. Yeah,
it's nuts. It's kind of crazy when it comes to that, because I always say it when it comes to like ego content and stuff, that artists make the egos pop, and same thing when it comes to what Robin does is, like, obviously Sean's if Sean just had a blank video and there was no editing at all, it would still be good, but Robin just makes it go, like he brings it all together. And I know the best thing I can say is that's such a great sign how well Jack and Robin communicate with each other, because Sean obviously be talking, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, Robin, put this in, and like it's cool. I like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I like it as well. And it's really good that they work together to really make it like a whole piece, because like Jack is obviously responsible for the person, whereas Robin is responsible for the world.
Yeah, that's you're totally right.
And then like obviously in separate videos it's not very good, but then they come together, it's quite good. Yeah,
it's basically the perfect like combination, really. And they're both imaginative, and you know what, me personally, out of all the videos, I loved the JJ video the most.
Yeah, same. But I like JJ though, honestly, so it's pointless me saying that I like that video.
Oh really? Okay. Oh yeah, of course you like JJ the most. You got a puppet, you've done, wait, have you done, is it you who've done the cosplay? Yes, you have.
I did, yeah.
That was
back in. I looked at that like because Halloween was coming up. I looked at it and I just felt really emotional looking at it, because I took those pictures in my room at university.
Oh really?
And I recognised the wallpaper, and I was just like, "Wow, I'm never going to go back to that room again."
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
That kind of wallpaper where it's got the bubbly wood stuff.
Yeah. The 1970s wallpaper.
Oh man, I grew up in my bedroom, and it is that. It's what was it called? Wood chip or something like wood chip.
I think, and then that strange like impastoed swirled white ceiling paint. Like I've got that downstairs in my dining room, but that was also every grandparent's house I was in.
I totally understand what you're talking about there, yeah, because it's for the people who did the plastering, they just want to show off, so they get that little palette with the lines and go, fuck you, fuck you.
They just had an excess of like plaster and just thought, let's just put it on the ceiling.
It looks so bad. Like I've never liked the look of it, and I do like that kind of stuff, like looking back at fashion and looking back at aesthetics, and you're like, god damn, we used to like that stuff. And sometimes it makes a comeback because it's retro and stuff, but god damn.
But it's always the nice looking stuff that's retroed and brought back, and then it's just like you see people bringing back stuff from like the early 90s and everything is extremely plastic and see-through and neon. I'm just like, I'm glad that's not retrosized yet, because that was just the tacky version.
People try though. People absolutely try to make everything like retro and bring it to fashion. Thankfully, most of the bad ones just don't come up. And oh boy, it's just funny how people get into that kind of stuff. I love it. You got any others to show off, dude? Or
well, that was my recent sketchbook. I think I've got the one that is the second most recent.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. So that was that was number I that I used for the image.
Oh yeah.
For the recent one.
Did you say number I?
The number I, yes.
The number I. Nice, Soph.
So the first few pages are just like simple sketches that I did. Like there was one where it was just like a character idea.
Oh yeah. Where were you want to go with that character?
Then...
Was it just the design of it, or did you have like a little background to it?
It was just, I don't know, it's kind of like my own visualization of like Puck from Midsummer Night Dream and that kind of stuff. Because like I usually like read old books and that kind of stuff, and I go back to old literature and just decide to like draw random characters from them to see what they'd be like. And then there's like some OCs that I've done. Oh
yeah, I've seen that one. I saw that one as I was scrolling through your gram.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there was that page where I had to decide what my Halloween icon was going to be.
Whoa, I didn't see the one at top.
Yeah, that was like one of the options, and then it was like the choice between that, and everyone went for that one, so I chose that one.
I really like the top one actually. I
like that one. I like that as well, but then again, I did enjoy the other one.
We're all good either way. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's a combination page of me doing an expressions meme and then me doing the bleeding. That was when we were discussing, like, because Jack had his cardboard cutouts in the background, we were just discussing, imagine if one just slowly moved across the way.
It looks like he's got a Roomba underneath
it. I said he'd be able to do that if he had a Roomba. And so everyone just said, can you imagine him getting chased by his own cardboard cutout on a Roomba?
It'd have to be an anti-cutout or something. That'd be the best. Like,
yeah.
That's what he's doing next year. That's exactly what he's doing next year for his big project.
Yeah,
he's just going to be a parody.
I mean, I posted on Twitter and he liked it, so an idea is there.
That's the thing, though. He takes the ideas from other people in a good way, and then like implements it. So I like that idea and stuff. It's cool. Yeah. It's very cool.
And then there's that was a Wiggles one I did.
Love that one. Really nice colours.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that one because I don't use pinks quite a lot in a lot of the stuff I draw.
I don't really watch PJ that much actually. In fact, when I say I just don't watch him, unfortunately.
You don't know. I usually end up watching like his little doodle streams, which is usually what he does, where like he just draws random stuff on like his YouTube channel and that kind of stuff.
Very, very.
He doesn't. I don't think he archives them.
I don't know. I've seen him post the pictures on Twitter, like, oh, this is what we did in this stream and all that. Yeah. Have you considered doing streams yet?
Everyone keeps asking me that, like, I should consider, like, doing, like, speed painting, like, videos on YouTube and that kind of stuff. And I always think I could do that if I could afford good equipment to do that. Because I think as this bleeding recording has gone so far, you've seen I have a lot of issues with technology.
I honestly, I think you've done a few Instagram live ones, haven't you?
I have, in the past, and I was meaning to do that again, but I was able to do that because I was at university doing them, so my internet was good. Whereas since coming back, obviously with this internet, and then like the only other second internet option I have is going to my dad's, and he's not exactly got like a good like setup. I'd have to do most of his stuff on the dining table.
That's not bad.
It's a combination of just like having a comfortable spot where I could set up easily, as well as having good like internet connection where I could start doing that again.
Because the bare minimum you'd need is your phone, like in the end, and because if you could just, you'd have to hold it, you'd have to get your phone and like this and record and draw.
But I did have like a little stand that I did get one Christmas, so I did use that, but that couldn't stand. I had to strap it to a box, like have elastic bands wrapped around it so that it wouldn't just fall.
I've done some ghetto shit in my time trying to record stuff, like trying to place my camera up for different things and hang off my curtains. Oh god, I used to have these little I don't know if I've still got them in. Wait, are they?
Yeah.
No, I got these like lamps. The ones what I use down there basically. but I'd use those as lighting, and it'd be horrible lighting. Like,
Yeah.
lighting, pronunciate, lighting.
English.
Yeah, I know, Jesus. Lighting is so important when it comes to that kind of stuff, because, like, now I've got lighting, fuck's sake. I don't need to worry about a camera, because I honestly thought my camera was just crap. And then, as soon as I got actual lighting, I was like, oh my god, it's not crap. I'm sorry. But yeah, you should definitely do it. Plus, I know it sounds really strange, but you're a good talker.
Yeah.
And
I usually don't like believe that.
You really are. This is something why. Well, there's a reason why we're doing this a third time. You know, because I talk, and it's not just me.
As well as a second reason.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, but like, for me, it's a case of when I record these podcasts, I want to make sure I'm not the only person talking. And obviously, I'll more than likely take the majority of the weight, if you would. But to be able to have someone like yourself who's able to bounce ideas and talk about whatever, it's nice, dude. It really is, and you're really good. You're really good at it. You should definitely do something.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, it's definitely something I would consider, like, in the nearer future.
I bet everyone would love it. Just make sure your computer don't overheat. You'd be facing the same thing, the same streaming issues as everyone else. So don't worry. Space Jellybeans was facing the same issue with camera and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you'd be fine though. It'd be really cool. Yeah, really cool. And obviously we'd support you as much as possible.
Yeah. Right. Well, I highly appreciate it.
That's all good. Anything else you wanted to talk about? Or do you want to talk about D&D a bit more, or anything?
I honestly don't mind. Just how's life?
You know what? Life's pretty good right now. Like I'm looking forward to 2020. Like, obviously the main reason is because me and Emily are going to get married, but I feel like things are going to speed up regarding this, what I'm doing, and all that. It's been kind of that's what I was going to talk to you about fucking spork. I'm gonna spork to you, but fucking Christ. But like, it's been really weird over the past few weeks actually, where I don't want to try and sound cocky or anything, but I'm getting like attention from people I wouldn't imagine wanted to pay attention.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not going to say names, but just these people who are bigger than me, not just in height, but like who have
there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, who have like a large fuck off, you bastard.
I thought I was going to pass on.
No, I was about to just brush that off, and I went, hang on a second. Oh yeah, people who are going to be interested in our D&D campaign. My character's tall, your character's small.
Yes.
Because in reality, I'm small, you're tall. You're way taller than me. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought I'd give you a little gift there.
You're when we go to London, you are carrying me on your back. That's how it's going to be. So there. So don't worry. I'll lose weight by then. I'll be light. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's really weird right now where I'm in this like transition period regarding where I want to go and what I want to do, because Sean said something really important in last night's stream, because he was talking to The Rock and Kevin Hart, and I think Jack Black, and I don't know the other person, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
But you were in the chat, weren't you? You were there. I spotted you. But yeah, so he was talking about that you start figuring things out at 40, because in my head I'm like, I'm getting to 30. Why have I not figured everything out yet? Why am I not? And when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, all right. I sort of I eased up a tiny bit, but I'm in a weird transition period right now where it's super nerve-wracking, because I'm diving into something that is uncertain. I'm still going to be growing my other thing, because and all that, but I'm going to start hard committing regarding things like the podcast. I want to make sure that I'm being as what's the word I'm thinking, consistent as possible, because it's so easy just to go and just fall off track or something. And it's kind of weird right now, and people are paying attention. People are reaching out who I never expected to reach out to want to come on, and it's like really humbling, and as cheesy as it sounds, really heartwarming. Because for example, Pat Makes Art, when I reached out to him through, because Cool Manny Draws mentioned him as an art inspiration, I was like, oh, let me just reach out. And nothing occurred from it to start with. It was more of just like hey, how you doing, and all that. But then he actually said to me, like, he's listened to the podcast and he wanted to he was like, I want to come on as soon as possible. And I remember just thinking, like, oh shit, okay, people actually want to come on, like, not just me reaching out going hey. But yeah, it's a weird one. I'm in a really weird good place.
Yeah, it's a good position to be in.
It's scary because it's like I swear I have this weird thing of what's the word I'm thinking of? It's self-sabotage. I have this weird thing, like, where when I sense something's starting to go right or something's starting to happen, I have the tendencies to do something to deviate from it, not on purpose, but you
just get distracted.
I do, yeah. And it's definitely a psychological reason for it, because I don't have to be distracted by it. I choose to be distracted by it. Or for example, like when I messaged on Twitter, when I mentioned on Twitter that, like, I hadn't booked anyone this week for the podcast, I had to click and go, hang on, this is my little self-sabotage. By the way, I realised I didn't actually forget to book anyone. I actually did book someone.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
And then you just forgot to confirm it.
So for people who are here, Sophie's like saved my ass and like reached out and said, oh, if you want to do it. And to be fair, I would record with you any day. Because then I was reaching out for a live podcast what I want to do, and I reached out to Pillagy, and then they were like, oh yeah, I want to come on and all this kind of stuff, and they went, are we still good for tomorrow? And I went, oh fuck, oh yeah, and I had to quickly go through the message. I was like, oh yeah, we booked it too. So this kind of works out actually, because I wanted to get 25 episodes for Christmas. So like, so this will be 22, Jane will be 23. When is this going to come out? Hang on. Oh yeah, Float Megani's coming back on next week. Okay, which will be 24. That's cool. And then I'm hoping the live podcast will be 25.
The 25th.
So like, I can't do it on the 25th, and I wouldn't want to post anything on the 25th because everyone's busy. But yeah, it's like I had this plan of doing 25 episodes before Christmas, and it's working. It's actually worked out. Yeah. From me thinking of fucked up to now, it's like, oh, okay, we've got something here. But yeah, so just as a little hop back, I'm excited. Life's going good. It's going good. I'm just in a weird transition period right now where it's kind of awkward to what I'm like dabbling and trying to find a balance between it all. Yeah. But I'm getting there. Things are happening and definitely heading in the right direction. But it's at the very beginning of the journey right now. Yeah. So I'm excited.
You got a pretty more certain idea of what 2020 is going to be for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, or at least I have an idea of where it's going to go. I'm not expecting anything, because if I do that, then you sort of set yourself up for disappointment. But 2020 is going to be filled with a lot of possibilities, I believe. Like, lots of opportunities for growth and to actually take this somewhere, take what I do somewhere. So, but main thing is obviously M. Like, getting married to M is really exciting. And Em said this morning, where she was like, I hope you're talking about the marriage. I was like, yeah, I was, babe. Don't worry. I really was. But because M's all over it. she's all over that wedding, so she's doing all the organising of it all and everything like that. And I'm just sort of chill and making sure payments are paid on time. Which I've discovered by talking to many people, that's exactly how it goes. where there's always one person who takes the lead when it comes to weddings. I was about to say the wife, but obviously everyone can get married pretty much now. But like, there's always one person who takes the reins, and so to know that everyone does it. So I'm that person who doesn't do anything. I don't feel as bad.
Well, sometimes it's better when it's one person, because sometimes if it's the two people, it's bickering over who wants what over the other, and then suddenly it gets to a point where like the worst thing that can happen, there's no marriage in the end. They've just fallen out completely.
This is the thing as well, like when people get engaged and stuff, they expect relationships to be like super smooth from then on, and like you get along and it's wedding and it's all good. No, it doesn't happen like that. Like even though you set a date, you're getting close to the date, you're still gonna fall out, you're still gonna argue, and you just gotta sort of, as long as you come back together.
It's a difficult thing to sort out as well. I feel like if you are going to propose to somebody, you've got to propose to somebody who you have experienced something similar to setting up a marriage with before that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that you've pretty much gone through nearly everything so that everything is basically a breeze up until then.
Yeah, I mean, Emily's the one who's making it a breeze for me. It's not a breeze for Emma right now, I don't think.
No.
But for me, it's kind of... I get excited when she gets excited. I said this...
Yeah.
I say this all the time, where it's like, as long as you're happy, you do whatever you want. Like, sorry, you do whatever you want, because it's not my day. It's our day, but it's mainly hers. And I want it to be like that. Me personally, what do I want? I want good food. I'll sort out...
Same.
Yeah, it's good food, drink, and maybe get an outfit, maybe rent a suit or something. But I honestly don't mind where it goes, and I've always been quite laid back when it comes to that kind of stuff anyway. I don't like getting stressed for no reason. But yeah, so Em's definitely taking the reins, and I'm glad she is. But I know she fucking loves taking the reins when it comes to that kind of stuff. She's what did she study?
Something arty, from what I can remember.
It was
the stream,
arty,
like fashion.
Yeah. It's like
sure.
fashion and textures and I can't remember. Damn it, I feel bad.
Design, just as the general.
Mm-hmm. So she loves all those kind of things, like putting things together and just adding little details to certain bits to make it more vibrant. And I'm just sat there like, yep, I can't input anything.
Just sit there very still as everything moves around you very quickly.
It's like those they're always pretty bad music videos, but when someone just stands there while the world goes behind them and it's like super sped up behind them. But most of those videos are always bad, and most of them are by Oasis usually. Oasis or Coldplay, where it's just someone standing there miserably or just staring at the camera while everything goes. I used to find those fascinating. I used to think, oh my god,
just those kind of music videos where the narrative is literally the thing where like you're hoping at the very end someone just comes up to and slaps them across the face and pull yourself together.
I love the idea of like just someone just punching them and just stood there with bloody nose and stuff like But how's things your end then, Soph? Because I spoke for like 70,000 minutes then.
Well, since we last talked, I was just leaving uni and didn't have a job. Since then, I've got a few jobs.
Yeah.
One of them being permanent, but with only a few hours. One of them just over the Christmas break that I'm still yet to figure out if I've got afterwards. At the moment, I'm not entirely sure if I'm allowed to talk about the temporary job I've got.
Would it be something to do with your kind of work?
None of them are arty.
Oh. Okay.
They're basically both retail.
Oh, okay. You can sort of talk about what you... Wait. No, you can't, because they don't technically know, correct?
Yeah, they don't technically know. They don't know anything about like my social media and that kind of stuff. They don't know my username. They don't know who I am.
Oh god, imagine if you saw like on your Twitter just that workplace follows you and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've even got my own family members following me, and that's a terrifying concept.
I'm always scared when my friends pop in chat. because
Yeah.
like our sense of humor's
Speak of the devil. There's a friend who's popping in your
hello
screen.
Fiend. Yeah, I know. Arse. It's what he does. He's been toilet and all that. But like, yeah, so it's a very, me and my friends are the savages with each other. So
Yeah.
like when we pop in the chat, I'm always like, oh, here we go. All right. And I know that my best man, he's going to be using my YouTube videos as ammunition to make fun of me.
Yeah.
And I'm totally for it. But yeah, it is always weird. It's a weird moment when your friends find you.
Yeah.
And
I find it's even odder when your family finds you, mainly because like it's older generations of people who don't necessarily know the niche that is the internet culture, so they don't know who the hell these people are who just like flood your dashes saying, "Oh my god, that's amazing," and like because it was only recently that when was it? I think it was actually just a few months after I had like a big family get together after my granddad died, where they just suddenly found my Instagram.
Oh.
So like, they just found my Instagram, and basically because like one of my uncles is a bit of a Dell boy.
All right.
So he's usually somebody who just like he sees an opportunity and just needs it to make money from it.
Yeah.
And so basically, as soon as he realised I didn't have a job, he was just like, well, if you can get some designs and print them out, then maybe you could sell a bit of money. You could put it on a social media and, get it out there that people see you and that kind of stuff.
That's amazing.
And I made the horrible mistake of saying, I already have an Instagram account. Because then instantly everyone just turned to me and just said, oh, what's your username? And I was just like, oh, God, I can't get away from this now.
Dude, I have this thing where... when it was actually when me and Em went to the How to Get Here tour, and we obviously met Sean, but two of my students were talking and they mentioned him. I was like, oh, I've met him, and they were like, no, you haven't. I was like, yeah, and then I posted on here and I was like, yeah, and because of this, and I go, oh yeah, I do YouTube and Twitch. I mean, the first thing is, what's your username? And I'm like, I ain't telling you. I swear way too much for anyone to. If I was family friendly, yes, but no.
But no.
I am not family friendly, so I am sticking these cards right to my chest, and you're not going to see them, because the moment a student finds me, it's kind of like, oh god. Old students of mine found me. Yeah. But they're like adults now, so it's fine, which is actually kind of creepy to think about it actually. I got freaked out because my very first student who joined up my school, he's almost 18 now, and he started when he was 9, I think. So because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to say his name, but hey, how's school going? He was like, yeah, college is good. I went, what? College? Yeah. Wait, college. What the fuck? Like, are you doing A-levels? Oh.
It's the horrible realization of, 9 years does not equal 9 months. They've moved on near decades.
I saw a perfect summarization of time. In fact, it was a tweet, and it was, I need to find it properly, but it popped up on my news feed, my feed, and I need to find it now because I don't want to butcher it because it's so well written. It's literally just a quick line, but goddamn, I like way too much on Twitter. Just recently, I purged my Twitter, so instead of following like 3,000 and something people, I now follow 420, and
420.
You know what? Completely unintentional. I think I was at, after I did it all and purged, I was at 421. I was like, who can I unfollow just to find it? If I'm being honest with everyone, it's exactly what I did. Oh, damn it. I don't know where it is. But basically, the guy says that he's thinking about 20 years ago, and that was obviously 2000. But 20 years ago in my head and his head is 1980.
Same here, honestly.
It's super weird because...
Yeah, no, I'm just like... I had the realization was just like 20 years ago, the 80s, and I just thought, wait, I'm 20.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I was in the late end of the 90s. Why would I say 20 years ago is the 80s?
I don't get that. I don't know why that happens, but like, I remember just reading it, and I was like, that's so spot on because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it feels like. It's like 20 years ago is 1980. Don't you deny?
Yeah.
It's like the 2000s just never actually happened. It's like you have
Yeah.
1980, 1990, and now 2000.
And now.
Yeah, now and now. Yeah, no nothing else. It's kind of just I don't know. It's weird. I like it.
It's a very odd passage of time we're in at the moment.
It is. I don't know what it is though. I don't know if it's the internet. Like, there's so much information out there or something.
I think like it was like somebody who had the summary of like why years go by either feeling so long or so short is because of literally how quickly we consume memes and how quickly they're made. Where it's just like if we have so many small memes, then everything seems quite quickly. But if we have an abundance of memes to the point where like things are being reused, like back as like, oh, do you remember this old meme? And then ironically, it becomes the same new meme. That's when time goes a lot quicker.
Yeah,
and it's just like, and you think back and then people do like the meme timeline of the year, and it's just like, no, that wasn't this year. That was last month or 5 years ago.
Yeah. You're totally right. There's oh my god, there was one where like it was weird because you people have said like, oh, this is the meme of 2010. And in my head, I swear it was like last year. For some reason, I just feel like, oh yeah, I remember that one because you remember it. You don't assume it's that long ago, but my god, like 10 years ago. Because it's always the top and bottom meme. So it was writing at the top, writing at the bottom, and it was like some person doing it in the middle. That was the meme genre.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really odd because like I looked at the timeline from like memes or like internet culture from 2000 to now. And it's strange because the first couple, like, up until 2012, I didn't recognize and just thought, I don't remember all that, and I don't remember these, like, historical events. And then it came to 2013, and then I remember all of them because that was when I started, like, sitting down and actually watching YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's just like I was just more connected to, like, the internet in 2013, so everything felt like it made sense, but everything before that just felt like, no, that couldn't have possibly happened that far back.
Yeah, you're totally right. I get that. I totally get that. Fuck, it's weird when my dad, specifically my dad, he listens to the podcasts all the time. So he's always like, it's always weird actually going back to families finding you.
Yeah.
But when Dad's like, oh yeah, that was a good episode, Dave, or I'm like, all right, Dad. It's kind of interesting. I think even because he was the person who said about the images, as in like instead of being camera, like to have that image. He was like, yeah, it doesn't seem as good. Like not the fact that the episode's not good, but you'd wouldn't want to watch it. You'd want to listen to it. Yeah. And that's exactly why I need to put all those goddamn podcasts on Spotify because I haven't. I'm like 10 episodes down. I need.
Oh no!
It's just one of those.
Make it a Christmas present.
Mate.
If you reach 12, do 12 days of Christmas.
For 12 days of whiskey. I am doing that roasting one. I'm gonna do
12 days of whiskey is a very bad idea.
That's a very bad idea. That's when you need a purge. But I am gonna do a roasting, a whiskey roast again because I do it every year. Like for the past 3 years. If I do it this one, I think it's 3 years. But like, I do it because again, I like making fun of myself and like I love when people make fun of me. So I'm planning on doing a whiskey roast. I think I've got a new name for it. I put it on the Discord. It is, I think it's just whiskey's Christmas roast. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, whiskey's Christmas roast. So yeah, I'm gonna play around with that. And see, I watched my old video of it, and it's so not funny. It's unbelievable. I watched it going, those jokes are terrible. That's as in not from people. People's things were fun, but me saying it, I was like, oh, you're very awkward then, buddy. It's a weird one. And I think that's something what I'm proud of as well. Like, I'm way more comfortable
with
streaming.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I feel... I don't like the idea I'm forcing so much and forcing to be funny because I can't write jokes for shit. I'm terrible at that kind of stuff. When it comes to the ego things, putting ideas together, writing things where I want it to go.
Yeah.
Just nothing. I get nothing from it. But just being able to quickly.
Sometimes it's like the spontaneous of being live that like drives you to just be a bit more creative in many ways.
Absolutely. Well, I just like talking shit in the end.
Yeah.
I felt bad because Mars, who raided me the other day with like over 100 odd people, and I messaged her saying like, "Oh, thanks for all that," and she told me, "Oh, that's no problem." I wonder how many people were thinking, "What the fuck's he doing?" Because about 10 seconds, 20 seconds after she did me an amazing favor by raiding me, I made fun of her.
Oh.
I'm just like, oh, okay. And I just thought to myself, like, oh, was that a bad thing to do or not? Because me and Mars like spoke maybe a week. So bringing people from her
out of context.
Yeah, out of context, I might seem like a complete douche.
Yeah.
But
definitely not one of the best of Twitch clips to get shown around.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind that. Because that's the thing as well, like, it's exactly what I'm like. So if a clip like that got out there and people going I'm like, yeah, I said that, and what's wrong with that? Like,
I'm always like that with like people who like ever throw hate at me. It's just like all they're doing is stating the obvious. I'm just like, yeah, fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's what I mean. Like,
what's your point?
Well, this is something where I made that post about you shouldn't be, if people try and call you out or not call you out, shame you for liking certain things or watching certain things, just say to them, fuck off. Like, it don't matter. Like, if watching this, doing this brings me joy, and I'm not forcing it on you, there's no problem. The only time it's an issue is when people will love something here and they're like, oh, check this out, check, and they just do it over and over again.
Yeah.
I kind of go into, it's not religious, but I sort of have the same idea with religion. Like, obviously I'm not religious, but if someone's religious, I totally respect it. And it's the same kind of mindset. Like, if being religious helps you and brings you joy, brings you guidance, or just does whatever, it's totally cool. I don't mind that. The only time it happens when I'm like, stop, is when it's getting forced down your throat.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm like that with quite a lot of things as well, because like it's always the irony of like, I'm technically like, it's this very strange gap, like there's no middle ground with those kind of things, because in terms of like religion and also like ways of living, for example, there's this strange like conflict between vegans and not vegans.
Yes.
And it's so ironic how like the non-vegans are as passionately furious as the vegans to the point where I can't tell the difference between the two of them. Yeah,
you're totally
right.
And
then there's also like with the same thing with religion, with like people who are very highly religious and also atheists. It's amazing how atheists are very religious with their atheism.
Yeah, the hardcore atheists.
Yeah, all they're basically doing is repeating exactly what the religious person is saying, only putting "not" instead of the phrase. Just like, there is no God.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're totally right. For me, it's just a case of like, I honestly don't mind where you're orientated regarding religion, sex, identity, gender, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, are you a nice person? Are you kind to other people? That's all I base my judgments on. Like, if you're a nice person, you treat other people nicely.
That's why I always heard, because I had people who ask me like, how do I feel about those kinds of people? And the only one I do actually have a thing against are anti-vaxxers, and the only reason for that is because they are hurting someone. They are hurting people, whether it's like directly or indirectly. They're still hurting people. Therefore, I disagree with them. For flat earthers, I don't care, because they're not hurting anyone. Certainly not hurting themselves, and I just don't. I'm not angry with them. I don't care for them. They're getting on with their lives just as easily as anybody else.
You hope we're getting on with our lives a bit easier, but if I thought the world was flat, my life might be a bit weird.
Maybe.
But I'm agreeing with that. But it's
the kind of thing where it's like, you can't necessarily be a flat earther and be aggressive about it, because the only way you could aggressively prove you're a flat earther is try throw somebody off the edge of the earth, and then you'd prove to yourself, oh, the earth isn't flat.
Oh, it's so great. One of the things I love is denialism. I don't know if that's even a word, but when, for example, flat earthers, when you when you have all the evidence to say that the Earth is round, and then they deny the evidence. It's like,
yeah, they just like,
we can't fucking win then. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna make
it's like that. There was a post on Tumblr. It was like it was a shit post of like a gun that was about to be fired and a finger in the nozzle. It says, "This is how you stop being shot." If you and it just says why, and they went, because your finger will stop the bullets. And then people say, well, no, it'll blow your finger off. And he goes, no, your finger will stop the bullet. It's just like, no, the power of the bullet is like, the gunpowder forces the bullet. It will crack through the bones of your finger. It's like, no, my finger will stop the bullet. It's just at that point about 5 responses, and you think, don't bother.
Stop.
Just don't bother responding.
This is the thing where, like, when you're forming an opinion or you want to put your opinion across, make sure you've got evidence to back it up, or you've got a reason to make that judgment.
Yeah, but I'm always of the thing where it's like the people who you'll go against don't need evidence; they just need perseverance, which is just the bleeding irony of like saying, "Oh, you'll get anywhere in life with hard work and perseverance." Yeah, these people are using the hard work and perseverance by not giving a shit about anything else.
Yeah,
so I'm always the thing where it's like, so I'm always like, don't involve them because you know you're right, you know you have the evidence. They don't deserve it, and they don't want it. Don't give them it.
This is the thing as well, like you just said, people don't want to hear the opposite side.
Yeah.
They want to confirm their own view, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Is it raining really hard outside? Hang on. Ooh,
it's raining quite hard here.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's raining really hard. Fucking.
Yeah, it was raining a second ago. Yeah.
I just heard a. I was like, oh fuck! So what was it? The comet's coming.
The heavens have opened.
The comet's coming towards us. But I was gonna say, yeah. But people like that. It's frustrating, and for me, it's whenever there's let's say people talking shit about other people, or you hear bad things said about people, or you shouldn't follow that person, or you shouldn't listen to that person because of this. Well, a lot of times people just jump on that bandwagon, and it really infuriates me because it's like, okay, just get all the information you can and then make your judgment. Don't just jump onto it because it's a fashionable thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, how can I say? It's kind of like the PewDiePie thing. What happened? Because like I was this close of making a video just for Twitter and just going off. And I had to like hold back. I was like, maybe I'm going to cause too much drama, and I don't want to cause too much drama. But like, when obviously PewDiePie Japanese house got broken into and robbed, and Marcia posted something about it and saying that she feels traumatized and all that, which is totally like understandable. And then people jumped on to it, basically saying, "Good, I'm glad. I wish I was the person who robbed them." And then I was like, okay, that's just being funny. But then I saw the comments and they're like, oh, why didn't you burn the place down as well? It's like, motherfucker, what are you talking about, dude?
I know.
And
but there's always like that kind of thing where it's just like, you read that kind of stuff and you think, well, I'm not that stupid.
Yeah.
But there's also like fine lines between that kind of way you'd be with other people. For example, if Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, got robbed, I think everyone would say yes. But the reason for that is because he is a billionaire. He donates nothing to charity. His charity is just a way for him to avoid tax. For PewDiePie, he was robbed. He still donates to charity. No matter what bad thing he's done, there is still a lot of things that he's done that are selfless.
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff.
It's admirable, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is.
The thing is, when I still with Jeff Bezos, like, I mean, if he got, I think it's a case of my point when I was thinking about the video, because I didn't want to just rant, I wanted to put together some like stuff, but my idea was that people were basing it on the monetary value of it all, because obviously PewDiePie is a multimillionaire, Jeff Bezos is a fucking billionaire, but for me it was like, okay, totally understand about the money side of things, because in the end, even PewDiePie's like, yeah, it doesn't matter because it can be replaced.
Yeah.
but it's the emotional trauma. And like, and for me, my biggest thing was that it was very inhumane to be saying that kind of stuff, all because for me it was like, because they have money. It's like, okay, well, they are still human. Like when you have billions and billions, like I guess it's you can shrug it off a little bit easier, but.
I guess people, they don't really see the emotional side of it because they've never experienced the emotional side of it. All they see is it for the logical side that they've experienced, which is that people have entered a place that's not theirs, taken objects. Those objects are now gone. They can either be found or replaced. That's all they're seeing. And because that's all they see PewDiePie, he's got money, he can buy it all. There's no emotion to this, which is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you're being robbed, can you imagine just a stranger coming into your house and taking your stuff? It's just like, because this place that you called your home, this place that was practically your castle and main defense, where you felt like you could just detach from the world and be free, has been breached by people who do not care for you.
Yeah, and that's the scary part of it. It's like, no, you're, because it's like, okay, what if, and they broke in because they weren't there, but what if they were in that house when they broke in?
Yeah,
and then they still got robbed, but they were in the house as well. They didn't get like physically damaged or anything like that, but it's like, okay, well, then we have to take it up a notch. What if they got broke in and it's a bad time where they had a weapon? Well, that takes it up a notch. And it's like, what point do you start to develop empathy for that person? Like, all because it's a monetary loss. You feel like they shouldn't be feeling emotional. Well, it's like, no, because if something in my house got stolen, it's like, okay, well, it's not the fact that it's the object, it's the fact that someone actually took my thing. The thing what I've worked hard for. And it's not like it's undeserving as well for PewDiePie and Marzia. Like, they built a fucking empire, basically. And when people will try... if you what frustrated me was the amount of people who just jumped on the bandwagon because they thought it's like the thing to do. Like, people going towards the negative is so much fucking easier than going towards the positive.
Trying to think of something positive.
Yeah,
I did have that discussion with my brother ages ago, because I talked about this whole situation of like hate online and that kind of stuff. And he basically said, he kind of summed up in two ways, in that it is not the thing they're hating that's causing them to do this stuff. It's themselves all the time, because of two things. One of them is that there's obviously something they hate about themselves. And they're seeing a situation and relating themselves to a situation. So for like PewDiePie getting robbed, they are thinking, like, if I get robbed, it will take me a lot of time to get my stuff back, because I don't have as much money as him and I don't have that much time as him. I wouldn't be able to get this stuff back. So they're seeing him at an advantage, even though he's clearly at a disadvantage, and just thinking, well, that's unfair on me. Even though you're completely, this has nothing happened to you. There's nothing to do with you. You've just decided to place yourself in the situation.
Yeah.
And then there was also like my brother, who kind of like had an argument of like, people don't know how to compliment themselves or each other seriously.
Yeah, totally agree.
To this point, because it's very easy to insult yourself than it is to compliment yourself.
Always.
Yeah, and there's always a case of like, if you, it's to the point where like you can't even do it to yourself privately anymore, because if you do it publicly and you're seen as you're complimenting yourself, you're seen as very prideful and selfish. And that affects you so much so that you can't even do it privately anymore. So when you're online, you're still of the delusion that someone's watching you. Yeah. And so the most easiest way for you to get about and be cool is to insult people, because that's the easiest way to do it, because people can agree over something that you hate.
You definitely get more likes for making fun of someone than if you like reaching out to someone and say, I'm so sorry for your loss and stuff like that. That's fine. Making fun of them, that's when you're going to get likes. People do it for clout. I've never used that sentence before, but they do. Like, they will hate on people because of that. I saw someone who PewDiePie mentioned in his video once. Bear in mind that person's going to do a game because it's getting views and all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like that PewDiePie owes them or he owes PewDiePie. But the guy took that opportunity to basically slander PewDiePie and like say this. It's like, oh, come on, man. What's the point of that? It's like, you don't need to do that. And then you see him fucking post something underneath going, wow, this blew up. Can you follow me here? It's like, fuck you. Yeah. Come on, man. Like,
yeah, exactly. I see that. Yeah, I see that in like some of the sketches that I've posted on like Twitter. I just post stuff because I put it there. I've drawn something and I think, oh, this looks good. I'll just let people see this. Because the only thing I'd like to gain from those sketches at the most is somebody seeing a sketch who's a writer and thinking, oh, I want to continue the story, because most of my stuff is just like still images.
Yes.
And that kind of stuff. So I just feel like it's a still image of a story. If I can like inspire somebody to make something more of that, then I consider that a win.
Yes, I get you.
Because I'd quite like to inspire people, then just gain recognition, which is why I really don't like it when people come to me like complaining about getting notes or like likes and that kind of stuff, because I honestly, it's not that I don't care for people showing appreciation. It's that I don't. It's that I don't like likes. I don't care for them. Yeah. Is the point?
Yeah.
It's because it's just like, I've just posted this online. I could have not, but I've done it anyway. I'm just gonna let chance take me where it is. So it gets me when I post my sketches on like Twitter, and maybe like Sean replies to it or retweets it, and then I see the comments, and about 20% of the time it's people who are plugging their stuff. Thinking that because Jack has responded to it, he will look back at the stuff he's, responded to and see their stuff. Like, one, I don't think that's going to happen because there's quite a lot of you doing it. And two, why my post? Why don't you just tag him? Tag him if you want to talk to him. He's still not going to answer. You're going to get exactly the same thing either way.
It's just a chance.
It's just like a snidey way of doing it.
It's the thing as well, like, with Sean. And obviously, I reached out to him to come on podcasts and stuff like that, because why not? I'll take a chance. But when people like will kind of shame you for getting a reply, getting a response. It's like, I didn't do anything special. I was just trying to be funny, just trying to be cool, just trying to be like, just be nice. Like, fuck. What? How did you get noticed? Just be nice. Like, like, not on personally trying to, but just if you can provide something for that person, it's like, just maybe it's just a bit of positivity, maybe it's just make them laugh and stuff. But there's a lot of jealousy, and the thing is as well, imagine if people could just step back and realize that putting that kind of burden on you or space is another person I speak to about it a fair bit, but just doing that, in their mind they think that's how they're going to get recognised.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the most backwards bullshit thing to ever because it's do.
Like, even if Sean did see what you said, all you're saying is, I'm a terrible person attacking because I've done nothing. It's just like, what is that? You're
totally right. Like, it's a very backward mentality. But then it's like, my thing is, it depends on age as well. Because if they're 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, like young, basically, I can sort of let them off because they're just uneducated, they're just not too sure. They don't know how to handle it.
And they're also they're most probably going through that period of confusion. Mm-hmm. That's just like, it's that stage where you get old and you look back at it and you think, I shouldn't have said this. I said it's the kind of stuff where it's just like, I wish I could delete that entire part of my life. And that's the downside to being on the internet, is that it will never be deleted.
No, unfortunately. And that's when you got to like sort of just go, this is what I did. There you go. Fuck it. Done.
It's best to admit it than try and hide it. Because if you hide it, then it indicates that, like, you'd never want you completely false about yourself. You're not honest with other people because you don't want people to know that kind of person that you are. But if that's the person you are, that is the person you are.
It's like, because I might have spoke to you about it, but like when I said to someone on here, or I definitely said it during streams, like I used to say the worst kind of shit, like way back then, and it's like it's not good to say that. Obviously, I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, but now it's the fact that people will hold on to that stuff what you said back then, but they don't give you the chance to learn and get better now. That's the horrible part where it's like, oh, well, that thing you said when you were going through puberty.
Yeah, that thing you said years back, of which many stuff has happened to you when you've come across many people. The thing that you developed from, that's nothing now because this is who you used to be. It's just like, so what? And
people hide it, and it's like, no, just admit that you said that shit. Everyone said that kind of stuff. Like almost everyone, at least. I don't know. I feel like people who say they haven't said it, I don't know if I can believe you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's not out of hatred or toxicity or anything. It's just out of ignorance.
Exactly.
It's ignorant to to the idea of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Dude, before I started doing YouTube and Twitch and stuff, I didn't understand like different people's different orientation of sexual attractiveness, or not even just attractiveness, but how people are sexually orientated. I didn't understand what pansexual is, or I'm just going to say that because that's the first thing that popped to mind. But when I hear that for the first time, I was like, "The fuck's that mean?" And now I understand it. It's you learn and grow from it all.
Yeah.
And
it's the situation where like the pinnacle thing with growing and learning is that you've approached something new. The clinical point there is, are you then going to think, I'm going to learn more about this, or are you going to think, this doesn't involve me, I'm not going to learn anything about it?
Absolutely.
You're a good person if you think, I don't know what this is, I'm going to learn about it.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's are you willing to learn from your mistakes, or that's the issue. What people don't seem to grasp, that people you're human. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna say bad things. You're gonna completely mess up. You're gonna do some bad shit.
Yeah, but it's like that with like just how society's built. We shouldn't hide the terrible pasts we used to have, because from mistakes we learn.
It comes on to the idea of repressing things too. Like if people used to, well, not anymore, I guess, but not as much. Sorry, but if people would like end up crying or get upset about things, we'd have to put it down. We'd be like, no, stiff up a lip and all that shit. Be a man and stop being a girl and stop being a baby. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, no. Oh, we froze.
Yeah, I froze.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. You froze, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's all good now. Yeah, my laptop's overheating again, so I may bug out in a second.
It's all good. It's all good.
All right.
Now, and I was just saying that it's a weird one right now, where the balance of how open we are about emotions and why we're being open about emotions it's starting to balance out a bit more, in my perspective at least. I might be wrong, but people would be open about their emotions, notice that they got attention for it, and then we started to do it quite a lot. And they started to not exaggerate, but we started to rely on being sad to get emotion instead of being sad because it's an emotional release. And when and it's a fine line. Like the amount of times I've had to do it with people in my family, where it's like they're getting emotional, but I'm gonna be there to support them, but I don't want to be the reason why they're
therapists.
And it's not even just that, but it's in your head. You start to calculate that when I'm sad, I get attention, this much attention. When I'm happy, I only get this much attention. Well, I want some. It's not saying I want attention is a bad thing. It's not you're attention seeker, but that feeling, the good feeling you get, like connection.
And then it's even worse because people only ask for attention when they've broken, which I think is the worst thing about it, because then it just carries on the trend of just like, you can feel bad, but that's not enough for people to say, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm always of the thing that I've had with like my family, and especially with like members of my family, where for example, my brother, when he was in university, he had a friend who had to deal with who went through quite a lot of bad depression spells, to the point where he would always call them saying like, oh, I'm going to do it today. And my brother got to the point where like he was desensitized by it.
Yeah.
And he was just, and it was that thing. And then my brother just opened up to him and said, you would have got the help quicker if you'd noticed when you were feeling low and just said, I'm feeling low. Because if you wait and, push the boundaries and wait until you're broken to reach out for help, then you're not going to solve the issue. You're just, because you're not like, it's a bit like with illnesses. It's easier to stop yourself getting ill than try and get better when you're ill.
Prevention is the best. Prevention's always best.
It's good to know when you're feeling bad, to think, oh no, this could be the start of something. I need to go and prevent it from happening, or at least ease it from happening.
Yeah, and it's through that, the admission of when you're feeling down, and sometimes reaching out to people, where that's what's going to help. Because as I was saying, like, we used to get brought up on, oh, be a man, it's not okay to cry, never cry, because don't be such a girl if you cry, and all that kind of stuff. And we're finally starting to go like, no, we're okay. Like, it's okay to cry. And I've had to correct parents. Well, when I was teaching a kid, like sometimes kids will find something quite difficult and they get upset by it, they start crying or anything. I've overheard a parent say like, oh, stop crying, stop being a girl. It's like, no, it's totally fine. It's totally healthy to be crying. and normalizing crying is super important, because if you didn't need to cry, if your body did not need to cry, or your mind did not need to cry, it wouldn't do it. There's a reason why we do it. Well, apparently,
exactly, because like we're from like birth. What's the very first fucking thing you did when you breathed air?
Yeah,
you cried.
Right. Yeah, you're right, and it's that
it's unique, and it's unique amongst humans as well, because I think we might be the only animals at birth that immediately start making as much noise as possible, and the reason is because, oh God, help me. That's what we're screaming. It's like, it's our first ever experience and it's overwhelming. So it's just like, oh God, help me, someone help me.
Oh,
so that's the reason we cry. Whereas like animals, I think like it's built in genes where it's just like, anything could kill you at any moment. You've got to be quiet.
Oh wow, yeah.
That kind of does open something to make us think like, how dangerous was primitive man, where nothing was going to kill us no matter how hard we cried when we were born.
Whoa, that's interesting, Soph. That's a weird one. I like that shit. I like those ones where you're like, it's if you watch PewDiePie stuff, that thing, because you're like,
just
good point.
Big brain moment.
Yeah, it's like a It's so true. But yeah, like, and again, it's finding that balance now, and when we go back onto what we're talking about with Sean, just to be open. Like, in fact, speaking of the devil, on Twitter, he just mentioned that there's not being a video today. He's he's in a mental health day, or a health day. It's like, good.
Good.
Because imagine the amount of pressure that he would have been under, obviously, but other people.
Yeah.
Where you're not allowed to have a bad day. You're not allowed to have an off day. Yeah. Because how dare you?
I guess it's hard for him because like his job is to be a routine for everyone else. For some people, they come home from work and like their way of winding down is watching a new video a day. And I love that thing where it's just like, if that's your routine where you can only watch a new video a day, then that's not very good. Because I think some of the downsides is that people are afraid to admit that they don't watch his old videos. They don't watch like some of the old stuff he does. I think because like some of them are scared of the nostalgia of going back and thinking, wow, so much has changed. He's not the same person anymore. I think that's the reason a lot of people don't go back on videos. I honestly don't care. Whenever I'm bored, I always like watch extremely old videos, regardless of what they are, because I don't really care for like present relevance at the time.
It's a weird one because for me, and I think Sean, I don't know if he posted it on he might have posted it on Tumblr post. It was either he spoke about it or he posted on Tumblr. But the fact that when people say, "Oh, he's changed," and "Oh, I prefer him when he had green hair," and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, he's changed. It's like, good. He should be fucking changing. Like, how?
He's not customizable doll. He's a human being.
it's one of those where it's like, okay, well, if he had not changed in 30 years, when he's 30, well, is that healthy? Is that really healthy that someone has to stick into that?
I guess like they don't understand that like when you change as a person, it's not just physical. Because like at the beginning he was in a cabin in the middle of the woods in Ireland. Now he's in a big house in New Brighton. That's the most physical change it can get. They're both drastic. If that can happen physically, that has to happen like personally and emotionally as well. You can't go from one place to another and be the same person.
It's as soon as people started the one video when he didn't do the ending, the shouting stuff, and in my head, my first thought was, cool. Like, I'm glad personally. Like, it's not that I found it annoying. I actually quite like it, but the fact that he's comfortable enough in his own skin to be like, no, I'm just gonna say bye, or I'm just gonna say people like this, and the maturity is there, and it was the post one we're talking about, because then he talks about like, if you are still into that kind of stuff. There's plenty of other people out there who will provide that for you. And when I read that personally, I was like, yeah, that's healthy. That's a healthy place to be right now, where you don't feel like you owe everyone all the time. And again,
it's just, I don't know. I guess just like a lot of people within. It's just like an observation of the community. Again, my own personal observation, not forcing it. But I always have to think like the people who are in the community are very. People who like to be in a comfort zone and stay in it. Yeah. They don't necessarily go beyond that, but it is healthy to explore. So, like, with those people where it's just like, oh, I wish you did this, I wish you did that. Like, I watch quite a few other YouTubers and I'm just like, oh, well, this person does this and that. And then they just go, no. I'm just like, well, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're not helping yourself here.
Yeah. You know how cheesy it sounds, but you know the whole the cheesy line. If you truly love it, you let it free, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you let it go. Yeah,
let it go. Like that's
Well, I feel
basically what we're talking about.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly the thing. Where I feel like there's always moderation, because like there's these people who like commit to Jet to the point where like they don't go anywhere else. I feel like those are the people who are going to leave the community for good when they finally change. They won't go back to it at all, and will always think back to it being a cringy time.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you treat this as just like he's just one of many that I watch, then you don't feel pressure to go back. Like after years where it's just like you may have forgotten about it and just moved on, and then you go back, you still feel comfortable because it's nostalgia. Yeah. Whereas if you're committing to the one thing and then you quit it when you go back, you only think of like, you know, anticipation being disappointed.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so that's why I always just think like I always tell those people, you're not betraying Jack if you leave the community. Just for your own health, go somewhere else. If you're in a bad place, you step out of it.
Yeah.
You don't stand in it for who are you proving if you stand in pain? You're not proving it to anyone.
The only time I've ever felt bad about being in Sean's community was when we're watching the show and had a go here, and he was doing callbacks to his old videos. His what's it called? What's that game called? The big Happy Wheels. He was doing Happy Wheels references and all that, and I just stood there and went, "Don't get it."
Oh no, yeah.
I don't understand.
And that's also another thing with all the toxicity that was going on in the community. Like I was always thinking, like, this is only happening to people who've been in for a while. How the hell do you think new people coming into the community would feel? These are people who have just seen the video and checked it out elsewhere. They don't know everything. They don't know the lore. They don't know much thing that's going on. That's why I think like the community, the YouTube community that only sticks to YouTube and just watches his videos, you know, if they don't comment, they're probably the happiest side of the community because they don't interact with anything outside and get too deep into like laws of everything else that then starts becoming arguments between people.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because people are going to argue regardless. But you know what it is? Yeah. It's the fact that I don't know what the word is for it, but the fact that you can just type something, send it, and not worry about the consequences or anything.
Yeah.
The disconnect between the person you're having that argument with, because if you had that conversation or argument, and arguments are healthy because you know people are going to have different opinions, but when you have that disconnect where you can literally say anything, and that's it. Yeah. That's when it starts getting bad. And if you put those same people in an actual room together and be like, all right, talk. Yeah. That's when it works.
Yeah, because there's no physical disruption. I've also had this discussion with my brother where like we've had many like very debatable conversations where both like one of us would say a point and we'd have everything lined up to be said to defend our point, but we say point one, the other person interrupts and then goes in and then just starts saying, well, no, actually, and then just counts that in.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And then they either go onto that and then the entire route of the conversation is diverted, or they go, sorry, do carry on. But then you get to the second point and then you realise, well, my first point's been trumped. And then you get to the second point and you may have a point, or it may also have the same person to go, well, actually, on that part, it's the act of distraction that kind of diverts the conversation. Whereas online, it's just, here's your block of writing, here's your 500-word essay, type it and send it. And so it's typed and sent. And then after that, because you've said everything you've said, there's this sense of satisfaction. So when people come back and say, well, actually, this is wrong, you just think, no, I said it out, it's mine now.
Yeah.
So I always think distraction is the key to a good conversation, because you also need someone to come in to just stop you, to say, no, you need to stop there because clearly you've said something wrong.
Yeah. And as long as they have a valid point, like if it's a valid argument, then that's it. Because I'm sure it's going to happen with me speaking to some people on here, like to be able to go back and forth. But you could be the closest of friends and have the biggest of arguments, not falling out, but debates. Yeah. And because people are scared of debating, and I'm not talking about arguing, but people are scared of actually debating and listening to the other person. Because as we're discussing about what we're talking about right at the beginning, that people don't want to be wrong. They want their own opinion. They want to confirm their opinion by either getting their friends to join in on them. So, for example, they'll talk shit about PewDiePie and what PewDiePie's done, and they'll ask other people about it and make sure that they're on board with them, so then it backs their own opinion up.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to hear it. They just want to say something and that's it. And if there's repercussions for it, it's like, no, fuck you. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I also think like I also came to like a conclusion that the kind of people who do that thing where it's just straight up hate, leave, go that kind of thing. I do have a kind of feeling where it's just like they've either through just their own psychological ways or purposefully have avoided social interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like if you've been in a conversation and been in proper arguments with people, you know how it works.
Yeah.
So you know that when someone offers a point of debate, you know to take it respectfully and you know you can say your point and it will come across really well. Whereas these people don't know that, so they just think, I disagree, leave.
Yeah.
They don't want any more social interaction. That's literally all it is. For like, and the majority of like hate in any community, I think, is literally people where they just don't really step out of well, I guess it's just like a kind of social anxiety where they don't want to talk to people because they're kind of ironically scared of getting backlash.
Yeah.
And then ironically they do interact and they get backlash instantly, and that just proves their point. So therefore they refuse to do any social interactions and make themselves better.
It's definitely a case of when people don't know how to be socially interactive and be able to just talk.
Yeah, but it's not a case of like social interaction on the internet. It's like social interaction in person.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I feel like that is the reason why everything becomes increasingly difficult for especially young people now, is that it's easier for them to talk online than it is to make friends in school. I'm just like, do that. Just talk to people. Like, just talk to your parents, talk to your siblings, just talk to people, because if you immediately come home and go straight to the internet, that's not going to help.
Yeah.
As much as that seems very okay boomer attitude, it's just the attitude I was raised on and that kind of stuff. Because I had this argument with my parents and also with my siblings about the whole situation with YouTube and Copper.
Mm-hmm.
That will be coming in 3 days' time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I looked at it and I looked at the whole situation of how it came about, and I realized the reason it's come about is because these are parents going to the government to complain why their child is so socially not interactive at all.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, maybe it's because when they're crying in public, you give them an iPad or your iPhone to stare at, and I'm just like, if I threw a tantrum, like when I was young, when I threw a tantrum in a shopping centre, my mum and dad would just take me away and distract me with something else in the shop. Or if I went too far, my dad would take me outside and say, if you do this, we're sitting in the car. And that was enough. That was a threat enough for me to think, oh God, I've done something bad. And I'd shut up and I'd go back inside. I was never hit. I was never, like, destroyed as a child, but it was the threat that got me to behave.
It's an interesting one. Like, with child psychology and the stuff I've studied and stuff like that, like the lack of parenting skill is so vibrant. Like, it's so there where you can just see that instead of it's that passing the blame on. It's the passing of blame where they go, oh, my child's doing this because they're on the computer all the time or they're playing video games all the time. It's like, well, no, like, you should be sat down with them, and not saying like you should sit down and read a book with them, but just talk. And
exactly. That's the most extreme example I saw of this was like people reacting to Dr. Phil, and it was an episode where it was a kid who played Fortnite, and the mum was just like said, I'm scared he's going to become a school shooter. And so Dr. Phil was just like, how many guns do you own? And she says, quite a few. And he said, how many guns do you own? And she said, about over 50. And it was just like, and even he was just like, okay, common sense.
I love Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil's just really like, okay,
cool. It's not the kid, it's the parent.
Yeah. Also. It's people, again, people will blame other things instead of thinking about what they can do. So the government should fix this. Well, no, bitch. Sort your own parenting skills out. Pick up a book. Read some stuff to help you. Like, it's kind of, well, it's not in the same area, but when I planned on getting thin, I read up on how to fucking look after dogs and what to do. Like, if you're not prepared to actually sit down and parent a kid, instead of I mean, I grew up with like TV being my parent in a sense, where
same,
and it like builds up. So, but my parents are still there to go, no, let's switch TV off.
Well, like, because like the TV was not a necessity of family life. The TV was there as a distraction when my parents had to leave me alone so they could go and do something else. Mm-hmm. So like they had to make dinner. So what would they do to distract me and Alex so that we wouldn't constantly like be clinging to them? They'd turn the TV on, they'd put a movie on, they'd put a TV show on, and then as soon as dinner was made, TV was turned off, and we all sat together and talked. And now we still have kids nowadays who like they're on the phone, and then as soon as it's dinner time, they're still on the phone. Just like, no, tell them to turn it off.
It's such a passage of blame in the end.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you just got to look at yourself and go, okay, what do I need to do? This sort of summarizes quite a lot of what we were talking about today anyway, where let's go back to the community thing. It's like, okay, instead of trying to change someone else, change yourself. And a lot of times,
and a lot of times only you can do that, because if someone else told you to do that, you'd attack them for attacking you.
Yeah.
Even though they're not attacking you, they're just basically spelling out something towards you.
I always feel like there should be a point when if something's triggered you, or someone said something, or something's happened, what makes you go, oh, so that's got me. You've got to sort of say to yourself, well, these are my buttons, what people have pushed. Yeah. Because if I didn't have these issues in myself or whatever it is, they'd be saying it and I wouldn't get affected by it. So it's about, okay, what are my buttons? And then if you can go from a place of being self-reflective, that's much better.
And that is, I hate to mention it because I know it's going to get immediately attacked, that is actually the proper definition of positive mental attitude. Something that has now been attacked and completely misread, because it was said from the beginning, positive mental attitude does not mean put a smile on when you're feeling dumb. Because if you look at the definition of positive, apart from happiness, it means progressive. It means active. Yeah. It means stage by stage and, in a scheme. So basically, positive mental attitude is where you're feeling low and then you think, oh, I'm feeling low. Okay, so why am I feeling low? And then you go through the reasons. And then if you can't find a reason, you think, have I felt low before? And if you have, you think, okay, I have. What happened after that? Okay, what did I do to solve that? I'll go and solve it now.
Yeah.
Like, that is what it means when you're saying your positive mental attitude, is that you've got a mental attitude and you're positive through it because you try to treat it positively, and that you try to go through why your mental attitude is the way it is.
Yeah. No, you're totally right, Soph. You're totally right. I remember Sean addressed that, and I was so glad he did, because I started seeing other people interpreting it like, oh no, just fake positivity, just act with a smiling face. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the reason that also was bad as well, like quite recently, it was the okay boomer response to the people who were basically just shouting hate at Sean for changing. And I just thought, okay, this is two very bad sides going on both ends. It's not only the haters doing blatant hate, but also the people who are trying to be positive, forcing it on others as an okay boomer attitude.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, the people in the middle are probably the only ones who are sensible about this, where they've realised both sides are to blame here.
Yeah.
So that's why I was kind of glad he addressed it the way he did, because he wasn't blaming the haters, he was blaming nearly everyone in the community, and that was kind of what was needed. As much as people came back and said, oh, well, I didn't know about this, so I felt quite bad about it. Okay, well, fine. If you didn't know about it, that's fine. If it didn't affect you, that's absolutely fine. Don't let it get to you, because it doesn't affect you. What it affects is the people who did something bad and needed to be told that they were doing something bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only people who would get affected are the ones who needed to get affected, basically. Yeah. Whereas if you're kind of like, I'm assuming like me, myself, and you, where you're not really, you don't really care which side at all. We're more like,
you've seen both sides.
Yeah, and we're in the middle. You just kind of go, yeah, it's all right. I was just happy that he did address it, and the fact that he's like, I'm not going to apologize for the people who I'm friends with or associated with, and I was just like, fucking good man.
Yeah,
because that kind of shit.
Don't apologize for being you.
It's actually one of the reasons why I posted that thing on Twitter where I was like, don't apologize for the following, and just post it, because it's like, people are ashamed sometimes of what they watch, ashamed of the people they support, ashamed of the friends they have, or people think, oh no, you shouldn't be supporting that because of this. It's like, no. If this brings me joy, if I enjoyed it, that's it. If it makes me happy to watch something without the knowledge of other things, then don't take that joy away from me, because that's selfish. That's so selfish to be able to go, oh, you shouldn't like that. How dare you have joy from this? Because it's not right to enjoy it. It's like, well, yeah, but if what I'm doing is bringing me joy, I don't care. I don't care, because I'm not going to change to make you happy. It's like, again, going back onto that thing, like, if what I'm doing is making you unhappy, then that's your shit to deal with, dude. Unfortunately, because I'm going to do what I do because it's making me happy, and and I always feel like if something does trigger me, then I can't lash out, or especially publicly lashing out. That's insane to me. Like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I would never. Yeah, it's shocking to me because, like, but again, kind of like slightly returning to my family, like they didn't understand why I had so many followers, and yet I don't post a lot. It's just like I don't post my every thought online because I have no need to, and if I did, it wouldn't be any help for anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, no.
for me, most of the time, I just post if I think it's going to make someone like laugh or smile. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's the only reason, really. Or there's like some kind of reason for it, but
yeah,
I don't just go bleh with everything. And for me, again, it's one of those things where I feel like one of the biggest things people need to do is just be a bit more self-reflective, because the reason why go on, please.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, for some of the advice I would give to those people who do post everything online of every thought, don't post it. Just open a document and write it down and leave it. Look over it again and again and again, and then leave it. Make yourself just like a little electronic diary. Never post it, because I feel like for some of these people, their satisfaction of writing this stuff is just physically typing it down and then hitting something. But they don't realize that you're posting something that is your vital part that will probably get you in trouble with strangers. So don't post it. Just type it, and that would be enough, because that is a form of venting, just not in a way where, like, after you've written it, it's now open to the public.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're asking a question to someone, do it. But if it's literally just you saying this is how I feel, keep it as just something you feel, like written down. And it's just the sensation of typing. I feel like
it's the sensation of getting something out. You know, it's people who don't know how to socially interact with anyone physically. It's their way of getting it out and purging, if you would. And it's a healthy thing to do, to purge, but you've got to make sure you're doing it in the right place. And there's a time and place there's a time and place you can speak about things. There's a time and place where you got to not say anything, but just deeply think about it. Like, you know, I always have this thing where it's like I come up with a resolution of an issue I have with a person or a situation, but I'll do it internally and make a decision internally. I won't publicly say I'm going to do this. It's like if I'm not a big fan of someone, or I don't want to be associated with someone, I'm not going to blurt it out there. It's like, no, I'm making a personal decision. This is me, and that's it. And it's one of those things where we are so focused on the outside world, where everything can be a distraction, everything can be a trigger, where we need to go, okay, well, those triggers, it all comes from somewhere, which is inside me. And to be able to look at a situation, a person, whatever, and just try and learn a bit more about yourself is important. And not just go, oh, I'm going to quickly blurt it out and say it's that person's fault. It's like, well, just take some time to think. Because
especially when it's with someone who's a stranger, technically. As much as you try to connect with, like, celebrities, they're still a stranger. They don't know who you are, and you most definitely do not know who they are. No. Because there are certain things that celebrities will withhold, because, you know, they're human beings. They're entitled to their own privacy. So it's like, if a stranger's made you upset, okay, the fact that it's a stranger that's made you upset indicates there's something with you that has triggered that within you. If it's a friend, then it would be between the two of you. But the fact that it's just you reacting to an outsider thing, it will always remain you.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. If you got an issue with someone, look at yourself first. What's that saying? I think it's kind of dumb, because I don't know why, but it's like, if you start pointing the finger, realize there's three pointing back at you. And like, but people who demonstrate that, they have to fuck their hand up and make it look like they're pointing back. Because if I point, I do this.
Turn it that way.
Yeah, I have to point like this. But they do this to make it make sense. But just that idea of, like, if you are going to blame something or someone, take your time and just think about how it's affecting you, and then learn from that and grow from that. Because you could do it where you could physically go through. You hate someone to you absolutely forgive them for every single thing, and you don't have to interact with anyone, absolutely anyone. You can just self-internalize and grow from that. Whereas we don't take time. I say we.
Yeah.
I include me sometimes. I still react. I'm not fucking.
Yeah, same here. Like, I do have those things, but yeah, the thing with me is that like if I do feel bad about something, I do have that thing where it's just like, okay, I need to get this down. Because like that's what I do. Like the whole example I gave, just like write it down but don't post it. I have like on notes, like there's a little notes option on my computer, and yeah, I have 187 notes, and those are all just me sitting down and going, "This is how I'm feeling." And it's just like all them, they've stayed there. I'm not gonna say what's on there because I don't need to say what's on there.
No, of course not.
It's just me. And I just think, okay. And after I've finished it, I always look through it and either think, yeah, I got that out and quite agree, or I read it a second time and then I go away for a day. And then I come back and read it. I'm just like, I was a fucking idiot two days ago, because you look back and then you regret it. Yeah, but I didn't post it publicly, so I don't have that much of a regret because, you know, I didn't. No one's seen it except me. I'm just like, yeah, I was stupid back then, and I'm glad I did it privately and not publicly.
I'm kind of lucky with myself because I don't write things down regarding if I've got stress or anxiety or thoughts or anything, but I do meditate, and it's like, thankfully, meditation is become a bit more fashionable and mainstream because it's really helpful, but I do a lot of self-reflection like every day, and if I've had this really shit moment or something's going on or something's upset me, I just have to just stop and just relax for a minute. And I've caught myself though because I started becoming really addicted to my phone as a distraction from all the thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever you want to say, what I was experiencing. So now I've done a screen time thing, so I can only be on my phone for this amount of time and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like the moment I realized, it was actually even yesterday, because I was going, I had time spent. I was like, okay, I'll do this. I got on my phone. I went, okay, hang on. What if I just stop? Yeah. And I remember just sat there and I was like, okay, this is weird, because I could start feeling all the anxiety, all the problems, all the issues, what I've been trying to push down popping up. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, okay, I really want to distract myself right now, but I can't. Yeah. I have to sit here and face these demons, if you would, because if I don't, it's going to bite me in the ass eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, I'm going to take it out on Emily, or I'm gonna even take it out on Finn. Not in a physical way, obviously, but like, I know it sounds like I'm fucking beating them up, but like just that idea of I'll start treating other people around me in a shit way, or I'll start. Maybe it was the other day actually, because it's when I clicked on to what I was doing, but maybe that's when I do self-sabotage and all that, because I'm not dealing with my other shit right now, so I'm going to bring up some issues, force it out there so I don't have to look at myself. So I push it outside instead, and it's interesting. It's really weird when you just stop, and because we're so we just don't know how to. I remember whenever I teach a class at my schools, the first thing I do every single class is I get the kids just to sit down, close their eyes. If they're young, I get them just to close their eyes for a minute and just stay still. And you can see, like, to start with, they're all like twitching and itching.
Yeah, jittery.
And it's like, it's because they don't do it. It's like, okay, you sat down. You know what it is? We're not allowed to be bored.
Yeah, we're not allowed to be bored, But it is a way of just, like, focusing on a mind, because, like, not a lot of people would know this, but when I was in sixth form, I did, for about a year, join, like, an acting group.
Did you?
And that kind of stuff. Mainly because I had two friends who were in an acting group, and one of those friends was someone I hadn't seen since primary school, so I thought, I'll catch up with them, see how they're doing. And, like, every time, and, like, with every acting session we had in, like, the small hall, we just have time to, like, downtime, so we'd put some music on and, like, dance to it. Some of the more acting things wanted to lip sync to it and do that kind of dramatic thing that drama students would do. Yeah. But whenever we were, like, actually rehearsing, like, improv scenes and that kind of stuff, because the play we were doing was Lord of the Flies.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's the most ironic film we had. It was the most ironic, like, play we had to do, because it's a book about an island of boys, and obviously the whole book is the theory, just like, if you leave boys alone on an island, they will become animals, which is ironic because 60% of my acting group were girls.
Oh, that's so funny.
So we just thought, how are we going to do this? So the reason we took so much time in, like, you know, on our own is because the person who was making the play was writing down and rewriting everything.
That's so funny.
and that kind of stuff. So we had like these things where like so the theme is that we're children and we're stranded in the middle of an island, in the middle of like a wooded island, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And our school was quite lucky to be right next to like a little forest area. And so we'd always have these things where like we'd come in and she'd say, okay, everyone lie down on the floor. And we'd lie down for about a minute. And it was just silence. And she'd be speaking and she'd basically be reading lines just like saying, okay, it's now day 3 since the plane has crashed. You still haven't found any sign of animals to kill. You are running low on water. Some of you have started to feel ill. And then like we'd get a moment for that. And then she'd like leave like a minute pause between each thing that she'd add. And then she'd say, okay, everyone outside. And at that point, it was like very late when we started. It was like very late in the year when we started rehearsing. So it was very dark outside. So we just had the point of just like, okay, now actually survive in the woods for a good 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow.
So we just improv from that point. But it was that period where we all just sat down and completely just like closed our eyes and just forgot everything and just decided to choose what our character was based on the information we got. And very similar to like how D&D is just like here's your character, here's a situation, how do you react? And that kind of stuff.
I love that.
So yeah, that was an interesting thing.
It's almost a form of meditation, honestly, that part. Because when I do get the kids to sit down, I'll start like telling them just the simple things like if anyone have ADD, ADHD, or anything like that, I'll just tell them to focus on how it feels to breathe in and breathe out, and like breathe in really deep, breathe out really deep, and just going to focus on really simple things. And the ones who are pretty good at that now, they start to think about their emotions a bit more and be okay with those emotions, because again, it's that we need to stop and just be with ourselves. And I think catching yourself is the most important part. Catching yourself going in these modes where you're like, I've not put my phone down for so long, or I've not just sat quietly for so long. It's like a constant buzz, just buzz, information, info. Even when you're about to go to sleep.
People just need to stop being scared of being self-aware. Because I feel like that's what it is. Because people do stop, but then it scares them when like they start thinking about how the way the world actually is for them, of how simple it can be, and then people start getting slightly existential, which they don't really have to, in order to like let go of things. They don't really have to get existential, but sometimes that's where they go, and then it scares them. So they just think, "Oh God, I want my distraction." Which is, I just think we need to start teaching people it's okay to have those moments where everything is just the most simple line that you can draw out of yourself.
Yeah, the most simple line. I like that a lot. It's definitely one of those where even think about the world that's still like out there, where it should be like think about you in the world, and what you do in the world. What are you like in this world? How do you interact with the world? How do you interact with the people around you? And make various moments about you, and can you grow from that? What do you like about yourself? What don't you like about yourself? Are you able to bring up the things what you don't like about yourself and learn from them? Because it's the things that we don't like. And again, like you just said, we're fucking terrified of actually looking and listening to ourselves, that we will do whatever we can to distract ourselves from it. Because it's like we're worried that the person we are isn't going to be what we want us to be. I can relate it to me losing weight, because I knew I was gaining weight, but I didn't fully acknowledge it. I didn't really acknowledge it until I realised that while I was wearing my martial arts uniform, I usually put my wallet and keys in like little pouch here, so it puts my belly slightly out. And then I looked down and I saw that little like bulge, if you would. That sounds weird, but the belly part.
Yeah.
And it was, my phone and keys weren't there.
Oh no.
And at that moment I went, okay, all right. So I do not like the place I'm going. I don't like the way I'm being and acting. You can't. It's not that I hate it. It wasn't hateful. It wasn't like I hate myself for it. That's not what I did for that point. But in that moment, I was like, okay, let's be real. What's going on? All right, I'm doing this.
But it's not. Yeah, I think it's also the thing of like when you, it's like when you've noticed something changing, people immediately think, oh, this is bad. It's not. It's not really bad. It's just a change. But because it happens so shockingly, and we're not really used to shock anymore, it's just like we just think, oh, this is bad, and just immediately think I've got to change back. Yeah. It's just like you're not necessarily changing back. You never get to change back. Who you are. You will never be the person who you are. You'll just be a slight simulation, but further on in time.
Yeah.
That's all you are as you are as like a living being.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where it's like don't be scared of change all the time.
Yeah, embrace it and be okay with it's recognizing what's going on in the present and then making a slight adjustment, even if it's the tiniest adjustment. Sort my health out, like eating a bit healthier, just
and you're not doing it. Yeah, and you're not necessarily doing it because you're not seeing like the negative of being like a little bit more overweight. You're seeing it as a benefit of if I was healthier.
Yes, precisely. It's the mindset of do it because you love yourself, not because you hate yourself.
Do it because you're looking forward to who you're going to become, not because you hate who you are now.
Yeah, exactly. It's super important, and I think everyone who listens to this should take that away. This is a long ass podcast.
It is, yeah. I went a lot of places.
It's cool. Is there anything else?
It might not. This might not be as long as we think it is, just because of the bleeding hiccups we've had.
It'll be fine. Imagine if it's like 30 minutes. Oh, okay.
Oh god.
But is there anything else you wanna speak about? Talk about anything? Or you?
I can't think of anything right now. I think pretty much covered most of the stuff that was need to be said.
Is there anything else you want to say to the audience who listen?
Keep sporting, Dave. Yeah, and congratulations to those who've finally seen what my face looks like, because a lot of people probably don't know what I look like.
Ah, yeah, good point.
So yeah, this is the mess that is the magpie, and this is the mess that is her internet.
Oh, bless you. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's right about it.
Perfect.
Yeah, you've probably got all my contacts, so you can just dump me anywhere.
Most people who follow me know who you are as well, so I'm sure he'll find you. But yeah, just go find Turquoise Magpie everywhere. And pretty much, I don't know if we'll definitely be speaking in the D&D stuff, but then we'll be actually seeing each other as well at VidCon.
Oh yeah,
which will be really fun.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure you follow Soph everywhere. That sounds creepy, but I'll see you.
Yeah, not physically.
Yeah, not physically, please. But that's it, guys. So thanks for watching, and Soph, just say bye, and you can wave and stuff. And that's it.
Bye.
Right. Bye.